I have the streams
We're
live.
good. We're live
Yes.
now. Hey
Okay.
y'all, we are live, y'all. So we are officially live. Just a girl, right? See, this is the just a girl um moment. But again, thank y'all. I'm so happy to be here. Welcome to Just a Girl Talk. Once again, my name is Janine, and I am the founder of just the Just a Girl brand. I'm so happy to have you both here, Ash and Chevy. Two amazing, amazing women, just overall, and just from what I see, I think the beautiful thing that I think that for me connects me to women like yourself is just seeing the authenticity, the genuineness. And even if is going to not always be liked, we it doesn't mean that you don't care, right? Like, and that's the thing, that we
Mhm.
are living in a time where challenging Black women to do better, um you get a lot of heat, you get a lot of hate. So there's a lot has transpired with, like I said, with myself over the past 2 weeks or so. And Just a Girl Talk for me has always been a passion of mine, just having tough conversations. I wouldn't say that I was always having this in-depth conversation, because I've been, at one point in time, I was very oblivious. Like, I also was kind of like, Black women are not having these issues. Like, you kind of just feel like you're in your own little bubble. So because my bubble is fine, you don't think you think that's how the whole world is. So I was very much just like, I would say naive. That was like kind of where I was very naive to the fact that we have all these issues. And I think obviously getting into this, working in the school system and really seeing the parents and the kids, it's like, okay, yeah, that we got some real problems. So obviously now that this stuff has transpired with myself or any other creators, I think just seeing all the things that have happened, especially I've been on TikTok for like a year now, and it's just been like wow to see what happens on that app. But
Mhm.
you two, you want to talk a little bit about yourself, your brand, and then we can really dive into these challenges that we are facing on a day to day. But it's a good fight. So I think that's one thing for
Yeah.
sure, that this is a good fight. This is a fight that I believe is worth it. And no matter how challenging it is, we just don't give up. So
Right.
yeah.
Chevy can go first if she
Ash,
like.
go ahead. It
Just like
takes
Well,
good old
Chevy a
girl
minute to
talk. Some
warm
good
up a
old girl
little bit.
talk.
right. So if I could, I would love to give a little bit of my background.
Yes.
My name is Ash. I'm 37 years old. A lot of people don't know that I'm a licensed cosmetologist and have been practicing every day for 17 years. So
Wow.
I have built a beautiful clientele of women of all walks of life, ages, from different places, nationalities, you name it.
Mm-hmm.
And I fully believe that my purpose in life has been to encourage and empower the women that sit in my chair. And
Mm-hmm.
this has been going on far before social media was ever a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So, if my purpose was to help women, encourage women, because I fully believe that we are the heartbeat of our community,
Mm-hmm.
I can help influence the entire Black community by starting with the women that are in my chair. And
Yeah.
I love to make women feel beautiful. I love to bring out their talents and their skills and their gifts. There have been so many transformations happen in my chair, both physically and spiritually, that I knew this is what I'm supposed to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
However, on the opposite side of that coin is the women who sit in my chair and sound like straight fools. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I know you didn't just say that. I know what kind of husband you have. I know how great your kids are. How dare you
Mm-hmm.
talk about your parents like that? How dare you set that man up? Whatever the case may
Yeah.
be. And I am the voice of reason. And we all know our hair appointments are like therapy sessions,
Mm-hmm.
unofficial therapy sessions. So a lot of women will give me their deepest, darkest secrets, and I don't sugarcoat and say, girl, you right. No, no, no. If they're not right, girl, you wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So why you thought that was a good idea? But I challenge the women that are in my chair who trust me. And once I discovered TikTok, I've been on TikTok. Well, actually, I started a YouTube channel in 2019. Janine,
Okay.
my story is similar to yours. I started doing plus size fashions. I started doing inspirational videos. I went through a divorce. COVID hit. There was no motivation for me in that
Yeah.
time of life. I could
Yeah.
care less about some YouTube. And then I discovered TikTok, and I've been slowly rebuilding all of my platforms since.
Mhm.
But I'm a firm believer that God has given me the type of spirit and energy in the words, because I am being the change I want to see. I
Mhm.
want the women that I come in contact with to use me as a cautionary tale. I say the things that I say because I was a 19-year-old mama living on Section 8. I
Mhm.
had a 304 stage phase,
Mhm.
and it did not serve me well. I've been plus size all my life, and now my body is suffering from the effects of being heavy for too long. I've allowed myself to fall into accepting the ideology of the majority, and the majority is wrong. And it
Mm.
did not, none of that served me well. So now I share what I share because I do not want my sisters to go through the same thing I went through. I don't want my other single moms struggling with what I've been struggling with my son. That's why
Mhm.
I'm so transparent on this app, because I truly want to share my story, hoping it will save even just one. Um, but I give all of that because when you say anything that is disparaging to the foolishness, here comes the attack
Mhm.
every time. Even
Mhm.
if it's right, even if it's medically proven, even if you can show this happened 500 times, if it is going against what a majority of Black women are doing, get ready,
Mhm. And I
because
wish somebody had told me that. I wish
yeah,
yeah.
but
Someone need
somebody
to
has
prepare
to
me.
do it.
Yeah.
And I believe that some of us were prepared for it. I got real thick skin. I joke all the
Mhm.
time and say it may
Mhm.
be smooth and soft, baby, but it's thick.
Mm.
Because if I just save or help one woman, it's all worth it.
Yeah.
And the way my DMs look, the way these emails look,
Mhm.
the way these
Mhm.
comments look,
Mhm.
the way these women feel leaving out of my salon, I know I'm doing what God
Yes.
has destined me to do, and nobody can stop that but Him.
Yeah.
And that's it. So that's my background, and that's who
Yay.
I am.
Thank you.
Welcome. Chevy, your turn.
Um, well, hello, I'm Chevy. I feel like I am up here by purpose for sure.
Mm.
Amen.
Um, so a little bit about my background. I feel like I've always stood apart and I've always stood out and I've always stood alone.
Mm,
Mm.
How I am
Mm.
now is not new to anybody that's been around me. My mom just looks at me now with a smile and sometimes tears because she's like, you always been like this.
Right.
This is nothing new for the people that's been around me. It's just new to the world.
Mhm.
mhm.
And
Mhm.
once you are exposed to the world, they'll even try to make it seem like, oh, they're just saying that for likes or just to be pick me's.
Yep.
And baby, this has been me my entire life.
Yeah.
It's just that you guys,
You get
as
to
the
know
world,
you.
are just now getting exposed to gyms over this away. So people
Mhm.
that's within my
Mhm.
personal circle, they're now just cheering like, we so glad that people are able to experience you because we've been knew you had it in you the whole time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, I mean, as a young girl, I never was with following trends. I've never been the girl to, I never cared about being liked. I never
Amen.
cared about trying to fit in. I was always comfortable standing out and standing alone. And so that's always been a thing for me. Um, Kind of to touch bases on what you said, I've been to college. I have a associate's degree in surgical technology. I did a little bit of that. Came to realization that medical field is not my forte. I like to get dressed. I like to look pretty. You're not about to tell me I can't have nails. You're not gonna tell me I can't
Yes,
have
I'm gonna get my
lashes.
nails done. Like, come
Yeah,
on.
yeah, you're
It's
not
right.
gonna tell me that I gotta stand in this room while it's at 62 degrees and it better not go an inch higher. So that wasn't for me. Prior to that, I was a dental assistant for 4.5 years, and I still do love everything about that. And then prior to that, I tried to go to school for criminal justice, and I've just kind of worked around. But I found
Mhm.
myself coming right back to doing hair. I am a licensed braider. I have been doing hair for about 23, almost 24 years now. My mom taught me how to braid when I was 9. By 10 and 11, I was charging $5 a head in seventh grade.
That's
And
my
so
story, girl. That's my story. I've
I
been braiding
promise
hair
you,
on the porch since I was
yes,
12.
yes, I've been braiding for a very long time. But at one point, I was only doing males' hair and kids' hair. So
Mhm.
Mm.
conversations weren't like that. But
Mhm.
I get exactly what you mean when you say we are like therapists by nature, because when
Mhm.
women, especially if we are the kind of women that can make them feel comfortable, which I work in a suite by myself. Once again, I like to stand alone. I've worked in salons, but
Mhm.
me and women, they when I see how hard of a time they give just a girl, I be like, wow, I wonder do they do me, because I don't read my comments. I could, because I'm standing on what I said, and I said what
Mhm.
I said.
Mhm.
I'm never going in the comment section to debate about what I said, because I already
Right.
said it.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
So when they give her such a hard time, I'd be like, they be like, it's her delivery. I'd be cracking up like, oh well, y'all don't want. I know y'all hate to see me coming, because baby, when I tell you I said it, and I ain't going back on what I said, it's gonna
Right.
take a lot to change what I said.
Right.
So I've always just kind of been like this. And so I feel like now it's how I know for a fact that it's purpose, because after I've tried to go to school for this and did that, I found myself coming right back around to doing hair, which now I've been doing hair for about 6, 7 years straight without
Mhm.
even working. And just like you said, those conversations, they get deep.
Yep.
Mhm.
Even when we're not involved, they on the phone, we like, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on? So
Yep.
when you come encounter with so many different types of women, and you see what's really going on outside of the bubble that she spoke on, yeah, I'm okay. But what about the rest of the women who sometimes just genuinely don't have the mental to even pick up on the things they say?
Yep.
They don't even
Mhm.
have the mental capacity to even follow that a man is playing games. So when you
Mhm.
see these lost women, you be like, wow, like she really don't know. But
Right.
it, for me, it wasn't even so much as trying. I'm kind of, I'm not gonna say, because I don't want my women to be like, dang, you just giving up on us. I feel like the women that's already uh in my age group and slightly under and slightly over, do what you may, because y'all already stuck in your ways. But when I start
Mhm.
getting 11-year-olds inboxing me, and 18-year-olds and 17-year-olds
Mhm.
that's coming to me like, I wish you was my mom. I wish you was a sister
Mhm.
I never had.
Mm.
That makes you look at the world different, because it
Yeah.
Yeah.
lets you know that they don't have anybody to
Yeah.
even, nobody. They don't have
Yeah.
anybody to talk to.
Yeah. There were
So
so many people. I didn't mean to cut you off, Chevy,
no, you're
but
fine.
y'all remember, and I love me some Jackie Ina. Oh, I don't know how to say her last
Yes,
name.
that is Jackie. I love her.
I
Yes.
love her. But when she was
Yes.
upset at the girls calling her auntie, I was like, well, shoot, call me Auntie Ash then, because we need that.
We
We
need
need
that.
that big
Yeah.
sister. We need that aunt that put us on the game. And there's a
Yeah.
lot of women that never had that. Young girls, there are a lot of women that never had that. And I'm
Mhm.
No, it's
happy
not.
to be an aunt.
Mhm. Mhm.
I feel like for me, what really brought me to this, first of all, when I first went viral, it was kind of by just default. No, I was not thinking for 1 second that that first original video would even do what it did, which that was the
Mhm.
one that originally made it to like World Star. So I rode that wave like, okay, they might have just liked that. And
Mhm.
then I just kept going viral. So for me, it wasn't necessarily saying, oh, I'm viral. Yeah, I didn't take it like that. I
Right.
took it more so as like, well, wait a minute. I'm not the only one that's up here with an opinion or saying these same things. Why is
Mhm.
it that minds keep getting plastered on all these blogs like this? So when I realized, even just now, I think I'm viral right now for the glow stuff. I see my face next to like, oh, this is the fan that made glow respond. So I'm like, the way that they keep putting me up there, it's making me receive that in a different type of spiritual way. Like, okay,
Mhm.
it's trying to let me know that you have the power in the voice. You have what it takes to gravitate, to get these people to gravitate towards you. And I've only been on TikTok. I've been on TikTok prior to when I went viral, but I wasn't on there. I was just never really active. But I
Mhm.
went viral in January. And to almost have 200,000 followers in such a short period of time is what led me to know that this is what it is.
This
It
Yep.
yeah.
wasn't like, I didn't look at it like, oh yeah, I got followers. It
Mhm.
wasn't like that. It
Yep.
was more like, this is 200,000 people
That you can
who are
change. Yeah.
supporting me.
Yep.
Mhm.
They care enough to hit the follow button to listen, and
Yep.
they're very consistent with listening. So seeing the audience grow is where the ammunition, it's like, okay, it's time. It's time. You gotta light the
Yeah.
Mhm.
fire under you,
Yeah.
because that you have what it takes to get these people to listen to a different perspective. And last but not least, it gets tricky with women. And for me, I think what made me really want to stand out and step just a little bit more with it is I am very much so still in that section of life where I'm not a nun. I'm not married. I have never
Mhm.
been married. So I'm still outside respectfully.
Outside.
I still get sexy respectfully. I will
Mm-hmm.
still go and have drinks with my people respectfully. So the main thing that I want to put a stamp on is nobody's telling y'all that y'all have to sit at home in Indian style. But why do
Mm-hmm.
y'all gotta overdo everything?
Mm.
I
Right.
still will show a little bit of skin because they be like, oh, she's showing skin. Duh, I'm a sexy woman. Kelly Rowland shows skin
Yeah.
respectfully.
Respectfully,
So
yes.
I just need women to understand like you can still be pretty. You can still have all the attention in the world. I got A-list celebrities in my inbox. Whether they're sending encouraging words or other things, and I never let it get to my head. I
Mm-hmm.
don't
Mhm.
let the attention change who I am. The attention is
Mhm.
never going to change who I am. So my
Mhm.
main thing I want to get them to understand, especially the young girls, I'm a very attractive woman who has a lot of attention on her coming from all kinds of angles, yet I still know how to maintain myself as a woman.
Mm-hmm.
They need to know the difference. You don't have to sell yourself short just because somebody told you you was cute. You don't have
Mhm.
to show so much. If you got the BBL, then why are you overdoing it? We already see that you got your
Mm-hmm.
body done. Now put some
Mm-hmm.
clothes on top of the body. We don't need to see body on top of body. We get it. So
Mm-hmm.
for me, I'm just kind of frustrated with the fact that we are being used as sex objects. All black women care about is the aesthetic of everything. We have turned nursing into an aesthetic career. We don't care if these people live or die as long as we get the check, the bins, the traveling thing, and the
Mm-hmm.
cup and the bag and the Crocs. Oh baby, they think they in.
Yeah.
So for me, it's just a matter of trying to still be within the space that I get it. You know, it's that
Yeah.
look. Everybody wants that look. You can still have it and still maintain yourself as a woman. So that's what I'm trying to get the young girls to understand. I want them to understand you can still be attractive without losing yourself. You can
Mm-hmm.
still get all the attention, you don't gotta show your booty to get attention. You don't gotta do Meg the Stallion challenges or none of that. Because for me to collect 187,000 followers in a 7-8 month span, y'all OnlyFans can't even collect that. So that should tell you something. You're not doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they be mad at you.
Yes.
Oh, they're gonna always be mad at me. Cause baby, I be looking at the comments. Like I don't even really scroll too much, but I have been seeing, I haven't even really been keeping up because that's how I keep my mind at a ease.
Clear,
I
yeah.
don't I don't scroll like that. I don't be in the comment section like that. I look, I glance, I get an idea of what's going on, and I get off. I have an idea of what's going on with Just a Girl because I've been seeing a lot of other people
Yeah.
posting and now harder and stuff, but I don't even try to get within what's going on because I have to learn how I'm not tame just yet. And so, I be in there attacking people because
Right.
I don't like how they attack her. It's
Yeah.
mind blowing. It's mind blowing to see how they attack her, and they're always screaming it's a delivery. Like my delivery is not full force in the face. She's way
Mm-hmm.
nicer
Here.
than me. I be confused.
That's what she's like, I don't get it. I just don't.
I'm so
Well,
confused.
if I could, and I think this is a good segue, I guess you can say, Janine represents what they wish they had done, but didn't.
Yeah.
Mm.
Janine is married with a family in a career, degreed 2 times. Like I seen one comment, a lady was like, "So do you have a degree?" Janine said, "Yes, 2." I said, "Oh, I was on
No,
the
for
other
real.
side." That's what you get.
Somebody said, is she single or something? She seems miserable. And I said,
Yes, I'm
single?
like, no, she's married. And it is the fact that I believe that women in the sisterhood, and y'all know what I
Mhm.
mean when I say sisterhood, they hate to see black women doing anything that they're not.
Yeah.
It just
It's
crawls all over them. And I first off, I would like to apologize to Janine to have people search out your husband, search out your school, look for things to discredit you
mhm.
Yeah.
is absolutely disgusting. And I am so sorry that you had to endure that.
Thank you.
And I just encourage you to know, and I'm gonna share my story in just a second. I encourage you to know that it's because you making them mad, baby.
Yes.
They want to be you so bad, and they don't
Yeah.
want to admit that they want to be you because
Mhm.
then that would be going against the sisterhood, right?
Mhm.
And they don't
Mhm.
want to be isolated out. Chevy, for you to say that you are a loner, baby, you are an eagle and you are comfortable in who you are. You don't need no validation by having no groups of people around you. And I relate 1,000%.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna read them comments. Because them response videos be doing numbers, and at the end
Yeah,
of the day, TikTok is a business for me, and I'm gonna treat it
right. Just
accordingly.
responding. Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah,
So the reality is that's why they did that to you.
yeah.
They
And
can't stand to see you do something that they want to do. They
right.
can't.
And I appreciate that. I think the as I realize, I think for me, I think there's this idea or this image, which I've said before, because I was saying this to my husband. I've said this before, like I wasn't raised to be a wife, right? I was, I had my mom and my dad in my life. They weren't married, but still had a very present father. So I don't necessarily feel like I lack per se in that area, but there was like it was a difference of not growing up in a home with my dad. Like I was saying to
Mhm.
my husband, like calling my dad on the phone, I wanted to have him there sometimes. So that was still a struggle at times. But I think we have this idea that if you look a certain way, you don't get it, right? And I've said this before that because I don't, um, like I graduated from high school at 17. I went to college right away. I had a great time in college. I met my husband when I was in my sophomore year of college. I didn't know nothing about marriage. I said this before. I knew I wanted to be married, but in my mind, I thought you had to have like this very like I don't know, like a fancy lifestyle to be a wife because I had never really
Mhm.
seen anybody in my family marry so for me, a wife was like you got to be really like doing big things to even be a wife. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, I didn't necessarily prioritize marriage. I didn't I knew enough that I knew what kind of person to choose, but it could have not worked out for me. I didn't literally put out all these boundaries and things. I had to still figure things out as we went. But I think the unfortunate side is because even me telling that story, like I didn't require marriage, I didn't do this. I still, we had a child, we still decided to get married, solidify our family, and like I was gonna have more kids and not be married. Like deciding to like I don't need to do it 4 or 5 times to figure out that ain't
Yeah.
gonna work. But
Yeah.
I feel like unfortunately because I don't fit, or women like myself, or even like you ladies, if you don't fit a aesthetic of what it looks like to be if I was telling the same story, but I did not look the way that I look, I think it would be received so different. Like still being married, still having the family, but it's the being put together that I feel like people believe that you don't know, you think you're better. Like that's
Yep.
all of that goes into that of like what makes me think I'm better because I get my hair done, or just again, it's just that very skewed way of thinking that unless I can only connect with you if you are down here with me, you got
Trauma
to be,
bonding. And that's what they're
yeah,
all doing, trauma
Yeah.
bonding. If they feel like they can't relate to you on a low level, then they're
they don't
gonna
want to hear it.
automatically hate.
Right.
Because it's like, oh well, we can't. Women, the sisterhood, it makes them feel good when they can relate. If they
Hmm.
can't relate and it's like marriage, they can't relate. You
Hmm.
know, living a calm life, they can't relate. Just living a life that's not chaotic and not the ratchet culture is what we're uplifting right now.
Hmm.
And the
Hmm.
reason why we're uplifting that so much is because it's easy. It's easy to be a sexy red. Don't nobody
Hmm.
want to put in real work to be
That part.
put together.
That
So when
part.
they see someone that's put together, it's like, oh, who she thinks she is, because they already know what it takes to be put together, and it's much easier to not be put
To not be
together. So why
yeah.
would they uplift the people that's put together when they could just all wallow around at the bottom and be like, forget her, shoot, we down here. We're sexy red at. It makes
Oh,
more sense that way.
you speaking to me, Chevy. I just made a video 30 minutes before I came on this live. If you're
Hmm.
watching me on TikTok, go look at it. And what I said was, let's just address the elephant in the room. The reality is, because Janina tell you, we have been having a discussion on my TikTok today about the Takara Williams and Samira back and forth. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Takara Williams is a comedian who is plus size, but she is on the smaller end of plus size. And she basically came for Samaya, who is a 20-something-year-old woman, Harvard graduate,
Hmm.
um, that her content is about being a plus size woman and not being able to find clothing in some of these stores that claim to sell plus size clothing. She's
Mm-hmm.
physically going into Macy's, Dillard's. She's physically going into Old Navy, and she can't find anything in her size. She's a 3X and she has an apple shape. Well, Takara made a response to her and basically was like, if you want to be able to shop everywhere, go lose some weight. It's basically what she said.
Mm-hmm.
Takara, however, is leaving out the fact that she has had a tummy tuck. So you're telling
Mm-hmm.
this woman to lose weight, even though she is active, she played football, like she's got her own story, but you cheated in a certain kind of
Right.
way.
Right.
Now, for you as a Black woman to be tearing down another Black woman because all she wants to do is be able to go shop, it's crazy to
Mm-hmm.
me. So
Crazy, right? Yeah.
it started a whole conversation where my response was, Takara, you be quiet because you had a tummy tuck and I think a BBL, but I can't call it. And Samira, baby, you still need to lose weight to be healthy. We don't lose weight to wear clothes. And that started down this deep conversation about it shouldn't matter what she weighs. It shouldn't matter how she looks. What about the women who have PCOS? What about the women who
They
are
all it's
insulin
always the
resistant?
nuances. It's always they're
It's
gonna always throw a nuance in every.
always. And so the video that I just made before we came on this live was basically everybody thinks so highly of themselves as far as Black women. Everybody's a 10, everybody's worth it, everybody's beautiful. Put your money where your mouth is. If
Mm-hmm.
you want the best quality of life, and Chevy, this goes hand in hand with what you just said. If you want the best quality of life, go do the work.
Do the work. Yeah.
There are
That's what I
people
always say.
out
Gotta do the
here.
work.
If you have PCOS, I had a client that had PCOS. She went gluten-free and vegan for 30 days. No, 3 months. Lost 25 pounds. She was struggling with infertility. That baby was pregnant 4 months later.
Yeah.
But she had to invest a lot of money to eat, raw
Get right.
vegan,
Mm-hmm.
gluten-free. She was in the gym 4 or 5 times a week. But the results that she got gave her the life she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I use the example of there are people who come from poverty. Let's say my mom and dad were completely broke, but I decide I want to be the first wealthy person in my family. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to have to dig myself out of a hole that I didn't even create in order to get to that point. People who have autism and learning disabilities, people who are dyslexic, they still become top of their
You gotta
class
still, yeah.
graduating from college
Yeah.
because they have decided that
They want to do better.
they want to do
And
this.
that's the thing. I want to let people know I came from the hood. Like there I'm
I
from a girl
definitely
from
came
the
from the hood.
hood. I've said this before. I by the like you just said, I decided I wanted to do this. I had friends who had kids young, 15 years
Mhm.
old. I have, people who didn't finish high school, got caught up with the drug dealer boyfriends, like, and just got so like a lot of times you could have very much been the same way. Like
Yep.
it was all around you.
Yep.
But it's like when you decide to do something else, it's like, oh, even I was just saying this to my husband about growing up in your neighborhood, and like Chevy just said, like not wanting to fit in. Like I don't want to be around those girls. That's
I
just not my
never
cup of
wanted to
tea.
be like them.
And I remember saying, I was saying to him, I was like, I remember being uncomfortable even being around the girls who were just fast and more flip with the mouth and just I was like, I don't fit in. I knew I didn't fit in. I knew
Yeah.
even when I would call myself trying to do it, it just was
Didn't
never
work.
for me. Like, so I would find myself like, and I would get the looks like you think you're better. And, you go back to your own neighborhood and people see you, they think you think you're better. But it's like, no, that I just knew early on that this is not for me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And so when I said earlier, if we could kind of touch on some of the deeper rooted issues, again, I'm not anybody's therapist, psychologist, psychiatrist. Outside of the few college courses I had to take to get my business degree, this is all I got. Okay. But what I see is, and we can see it today too with our children, it is so unpopular to be successful unless you do it because you done made it to the NBA, NFL, or you are a rapper. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It is
Mhm.
unpopular to want to come off a Section 8, to want to come off of welfare because why
Mhm.
am I giving up that free money? So I believe the deeper rooted issue is we want to be accepted so bad that we will attach ourselves to unhealthy things, even though we know, I know that I need to do better than this, but I'm
Mm-hmm.
glad I got the support. Even if the support is coming from the sisterhood, that really don't mean you no good. I'm just glad to have somebody. And if we think, and Chevy, I don't know your background, but I think back to when I was in middle school and high school, it was not cool to make good grades. You would hide that you made good grades in
Mm-hmm.
my, group, until I turned 16 and my dad bought me a brand new car because I was a straight A student. I ain't want nobody to know that, but I'm definitely not finna turn down this car. And
Mm-hmm.
then those conversations were coming. She thinks she better than everybody.
Yep.
I, I can't help it that my dad is here and present, and it
Right.
was a punishment. So it was almost like I rebelled so hard against having loving parents because my friends wouldn't accept
They wouldn't
me.
accept. Wow.
They
That's
wouldn't accept me
exactly what it is
otherwise.
nowadays. Yeah.
And so going into my late teens, early 20s, full transparency, I did everything the opposite of what my parents told me to do because I thought that the acceptance of my friends was more important than the success of my future. I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't thinking about, what it was going to look like when I turned 25, what I looked like when I was turning 30. But once I had my son at 19. So 2021, I look up and I realize ain't none of these friends here. Ain't none of these friends babysitting this
Mm-hmm.
baby. Nobody is sitting in this house crying with me because my drug dealer boyfriend done broke up with me, or
Mm-hmm.
it's another baby on the way, and my baby ain't but 6 months old. Nobody was there to support me. And that's when I realized that was dumb. That was real stupid. And until you go through that and you recognize I don't want to stay here, like Chevy said, there are so many women that would rather have the support. So I will keep myself down here just to have people I can relate
Yes,
to.
yeah.
That's because
And
for the most part, most women want to be accepted, and most women don't. You know how hard it is to stand alone?
oh yeah, absolutely.
Most
It is not
women don't want.
easy.
No, it's not. It's
Not at
hard to
all.
really stand alone. It's hard to not be accepted by all the girls,
Mm-hmm.
because girls, they misuse the girls word
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
so loosely. You're only a girl's girl if people are in your business, they know a little bit about you. Oh, you cute, I'm cute, you got an RN, me too. It's like the way women come together is in the most weirdest way.
Yeah, it's very
Women,
yeah.
it's aesthetics. Like you said, we only
yeah,
go by what is.
that's it.
Yep.
Women don't know how to really bond in a healthy way. So it's like most women don't want to not have friends and not be accepted, and it's hard to be accepted, so
Mm-hmm.
it's easier to fit in. I've dealt with a lot of younger girls, and I asked them, like, why do they do the things they do? And I don't know, my friend did it, I don't know,
Yep.
like, they just
Yep.
want to feel accepted,
Yeah.
because that rejection feeling, even as a grown woman, we don't like to feel rejected. It hurts. So to prevent us from dealing with that, we don't deal with it.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think what it really comes down to is women don't know how it basically. I say that to say, when you say it's easier for them to just bond at the bottom, it is as much, it's comfortable down there.
Comfortable.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know how lonely it gets at the top? That is not just a saying.
Yep.
That is
No,
not just a
it's
saying.
no, that is so true. And that's why I realize, like we identify that there's nothing that you can say or do unless you are trauma binding to fit
Yes.
in. So because I don't
Yes.
come on this app and I don't have I don't have a story to say how much I hate my husband and I need to tell y'all about how I'm leaving him. I don't, like that, we can't relate to that. Or because I'm not saying this, or and for those who do not know, I am a therapist as well. So I am a therapist. And people are like, well, how do you know? How do you know?
Mhm.
Obviously, clinically, you think about the disconnect of all the, this is not even, and we're not even dealing with people who deal with childhood trauma. This is just like relationship trauma in between friend groups, like
Yeah.
the Black
Mhm.
women who have dealt with trauma from their own circle of people, from your girlfriend exposing you. We've seen this before too many times, to her messing with your boyfriend. Like the trauma that you experience just changes your heart. And we have a lot of women who are so hurt, and they are so like hurt people. They are literally, because they've been hurt and broken by someone else, that they don't know how to fix themselves. Like you said, do the work to do better. They then turn into this very, it's like this evil person, and before you know it, you can't get them away from the sisterhood, right? Because if you get them away, they'll be better. I'll say this story. I used to work in child welfare doing like uh um work with families, like with take remove kids from the home, things like that, right?
Mhm.
And I had this case. This is one of like my most memorable ones, where it was this young girl. She had a like 6 7 kids, and she always gave me this very much still like, you think you're better. But again, it was very much because of my life was different from hers. I was married, had a child, so it was that very much that very combativeness that she would. But when she was normal, quote unquote, when she was not using drugs, we would have the best conversations where she would be like, I want to do better, thanking me for trying to help her. But she would get sucked right back in with her mom, her sisters, and it would be like night and day. And it would be like, what? She would curse me out. And I'm like, we was just cool. We were just talking about, this is the plan. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. But it was just the reality of, once I'm getting a little bit better, they'll pull me right back in.
Mhm.
And these are the same women who are telling me that I need to take your kids from you. But they don't know, you don't know that they're telling me that. You understand? But they're pulling you right back with them. But they secretly are wishing on your downfall. And these are your mother, your sister, your cousin.
But that's what I was talking about, Janine, when I said the deeper rooted issues.
Mm.
When your mom is your first hater,
Oh, yep.
when your mother, the person that is supposed to be instilling all of that confidence and self-esteem, I can't relate because my mom was one of these type of mamas. Baby, you can do
Mhm.
whatever you want to do. You want to
Mhm.
be a clown? I'm finna find you the biggest rainbow wig and the best squeaky red nose. You want to be a fashion designer? Oh, girl, I've been thinking about a new dress. Anyway, my mom was so incredibly supportive because she said, my grandmother was a great woman, but my
Mhm.
grandmother was, I got to go to work and pay these bills. I ain't got nothing else to offer to you. Not
Mhm.
necessarily tearing down, but not putting in effort to build up. So
Right.
my mom wanted to ensure that I knew you have support from me.
Mhm.
I am your
Mhm.
biggest supporter. And even though my story is similar to yours, my mom and my dad were divorced. But when I say my dad, I'm 37 years old. My father has called me every day of my life as long as I can
Mhm.
remember.
Mhm.
My dad has always told me how beautiful I was. My dad has always taken me on dates. I'm 37 and I'm still getting Valentine's Day gifts because my dad wants me to know how loved I am. It
Yeah.
is so important to have that
Mhm.
because if you have the opposite in your home and you're never told you're beautiful, you're never told you can do whatever you set your mind to. If you are 8, 9, 10, and your mom is something that I will never understand. I'm watching these moms call their daughters bees
Oh, yeah,
and
it's filthy.
why on
It is.
earth would you do that? And so, like you said, that is so very true that I am going to attach myself to the first people that show me any kind of love
Yep.
Mhm.
because I didn't get it at home.
Mhm.
So I found it so ironic when people were in your comment section talking about she's a school therapist, focus on the kids. Well, the mamas are the
The
ones
mamas,
destroying the kids and
that's what
making
they
my
don't get.
job
I'm like, you
hard.
don't realize that the moms, they are producing these girls.
Yeah.
They're producing them, and that is the reality that and I'm telling you, when you, for me, I don't even when you meet a child, who is so out of control, and you meet their parent, and you like, oh my God,
It makes sense.
this is where you get it from.
Mhm.
It's almost, it's sad that you confirm it in that way. It's like, wow, you're, so when you told me that your mom act just like you
This is
wasn't
what you
lying.
meant. Yep.
I get it right from my mom. You weren't lying.
So as a hairstylist, and Chevy can probably relate to this, when I do the daughter first, or I do the mom first, and then I
Mhm.
end up meeting the other daughters, the sister, the aunt, the
Mhm.
grandmama, you know, you end up with the whole family. And it's so sad when you can see you can see 2, 3, 4 generations
Mm-hmm.
and understand, God, this been going on for a long time in this
Mm-hmm.
family.
Yep.
It's been going on for a
Going so
long
long.
time. And then the part that I don't understand, well, I do understand, I just don't want to accept it, to be honest. On TikTok, it's the bandwagon for me. Like,
Monkey see, monkey do. That's what
yes,
I
and
said.
if you go read the comments, it's like they're copy and pasting the same
Copy literally
comments just to
over
be
and over.
accepted. It doesn't go anywhere.
I mean, you
And
could be talking about the sky is beautiful, it's great, and they'll be like, "Your marriage sucks. I hope you get cheated on." I'm like, "What?" Like it literally can
It's
be
like
like,
that.
like
yes,
literally, I can literally just say, "I'm talking about makeup. I'm talking about hair. I'm doing," and they will find a way. So it's very much just like
That's
you said, it's
insane.
it's very copy and paste.
mhm,
And I think also what I realized a challenge too, these women have created this persona on TikTok. Like people, I think there's like these people who stand out as like I'm the villain. So I have to kind of keep that going. So
yeah,
like even if I wanted to come to you, Chevy, and say, sis, you know what, you're right. You know what you know what you talked about, it really hit home for me. I can't because I have to keep up this mean girl, I don't care aesthetic, and it's going, and that's where they at. Like half of them, my platform is big because of that mean girl aesthetic. That is how
mhm,
I am, who I am, and deep down inside, I don't want to be that way. I
yep,
don't believe that these women really truly like the way who they are. I don't. I think that they.
That's
It's,
why I don't give them the energy, because if we really sit here and think, what person that's truly happy
mm-hmm, would do that.
is
Yep.
even fixing their mouth and their mind to get into a nasty state of mind to make somebody else feel crazy? When I see people in my comment section saying crazy stuff, depending on how disrespectful it is, I might delete it and block you. Probably not even delete it, just simply block you if you
yeah,
get
Mm-hmm.
disrespectful. But when I look at some of the comments, it for me, it's like I've thought so deep more about it, because I remember a point in time where I wasn't happy. I
Mm,
remember a point in time where I was in a relationship with this guy that I had been with since I was 17, 18, and
mm-hmm,
his baby mama was we both was just just a mess.
mm-hmm,
So there would be times where if I knew I had the upper hand in life and she was down, oh honey, I would overly take it and run with it, but it was only because I wasn't too much far from her.
mm,
mm-hmm,
So I had to try to
mm-hmm.
prove that I was further from her, but in reality, I wasn't.
You were right
I
there.
had to
Yep.
make her think that I was further, and I really wasn't, because I was still checking her page to see if she was responding to my nasty
mm,
work.
Mm.
So
yeah,
a
Yeah, that's
person,
exactly what they're doing.
yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
they're not
yep,
happy.
yep.
So now when I see comments, because I was that unhappy girl, because I was the one who used to get on social media and make general posts to piss everybody off because I'm pissed off.
Mm-hmm,
Everybody gonna wake up
mhm,
pissed off today.
mm-hmm.
Now when I see comments like that, I can identify, wow, and I'm just going to simply pray for you because you're not happy.
Yeah,
mm,
Women can't hide unhappiness. So when I look at the comment section, it never makes me want to run to it and be like, girl, F you. No, 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 no. I don't. I just be like, you're
yeah,
not happy. You
yep.
don't got to tell somebody that they not happy. Just look at the actions.
The
Nobody
actions.
that's
Yep.
happy is writing under somebody's stuff. You
yeah, not
hope
like
somebody
that.
else's marriage don't work because you will never see one. You hope somebody else's husband cheat because you've been cheated on. Nobody
Mm-hmm.
adored you, valued you, or respect you enough to even get on a knee, let alone just respect you as a girlfriend. So they can't phantom what your life is about. So that angers them. Well, I never had a man to love me and respect me and value me in
So how dare
general.
she have it?
How
Yeah,
dare you get up there and tell us we
Yeah,
should get married and push marriage on us, because
yeah.
it's the Janine, baby, it's the worst thing in the world to be married, honey. Stop trying to tell us to get married. That's just, oh my, why would we do that?
why would
Yeah,
we
we're gonna
do
hold
that?
our jailbird boyfriends down and have their kids, but marriage is where we cross the line,
Cross the
Janine.
line.
Somebody make okay, okay.
I'm sorry. I don't know. Let's
We
break
cross the
it down.
line with
So
Let's
let
marriage,
break
baby.
let's
so
break it
if I
down.
could, so Janine is happily married, baby. I would never speak divorce over you, but I don't know if you've been married or divorced or not, Chevy. I've been
No.
married. I've been
Nobody loves me enough.
I've been
They didn't
so
value me enough. Not yet.
I have shared so many times. My biggest thing is transparency. My
Mhm.
biggest thing is being vulnerable because that is part of my superpower. If
Mhm.
I'm vulnerable and I face my own issues, you'll never be able to shame me with it. Because
Mhm.
I take full accountability. I call out myself and I've learned and grown from it. It's not anything I've ever done in life that I am ashamed of. Do I wish I'd done it better? Sure. But I
Right.
share that because one of my very first viral videos, and I believe this is why they've been calling me a pick me since, baby.
Oh, we
I
all
made
pick-mes.
they love calling us pick me's. So I made a video saying 5 things that a man who is handling business should never have to ask for. Think
Mhm.
it's almost to 3 million something views. This was posted in 2023. That made the Shade Room and World Star and blah, blah, blah. So, I got motion now. I'm outside. Um, but basically, what I was trying to get women to understand is, yes, sometimes we are in bad marriages. If
Mhm.
that marriage can't be fixed because both of y'all are doing the work, y'all need to get up out of there because you gonna make yourself miserable. You're gonna make them kids miserable. It's not the example of love that you want your kids to see. And
Mhm.
those marriages sometimes turn into abusive marriages. Say go ahead and get on out. But if
Mhm.
you got one of them husbands that is handling business, you got one of them husbands that is sacrificing behind you, you have one of those husbands that is loving you and protecting you, and he's a great father, even if they're not perfect, because none of us are perfect. These
No.
are the things you should be doing for
Exactly.
your man. I'm not making this up. You should pack his lunch. Pack his lunch. I ain't his mama. You should be his cheerleader. Like you should support his plans. Support his plans. What I look
I
like a
ain't feeding
fool?
his ego.
That's what yeah.
But the part that I'm so like, okay, let's break that down a little bit. Let's unpack that. So you want these men to get up, go to work, make all this money, pay all the bills. You want them to be ready to fight the world behind you. You want them to be in that bedroom at night. I'm gonna keep it clean because this ain't my life. You want them to be in the bedroom at night pretending to be an adult movie star, if you know what
Yep.
I'm saying. You
Mhm.
want this man to be romantic, but also be able to build a house and fix a car, but also be emotionally intelligent. You want all of these things from this man, and he better have it. But you can't even pack his
You
lunch.
can't that can't
That's
do
why a lot
nothing.
of y'all out here single.
Can't do
And
nothing.
they won't do anything for these men. And I am not saying that I am male centered. Everything in my life is about men. That ain't the case. But the reality is, my goals in life, my ultimate goal is to bring Big Mama back to my family. I want to be
Mm.
the
Yeah.
Big Mama that in
Yes.
the summertime bring them grandbabies on out here.
Yes, because we lost that.
Because we lost that, and I
We
think
lost it.
losing that matriarchy and patriarchy, the examples in our families, that's where a lot of it started going downhill, if you
Mhm.
really stop and think about it. So
Yep.
if I wanna bring that back in my family, in order for me to be big mama, I gotta have
You
a
gotta get
papa.
you gotta find your pop exact. But you know the issue is, right? And I've seen I've seen this, I'm working with this. You got the grandmothers, your grandmom at 35.
Yeah,
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
your grandmother at
yeah,
35. You know how many
yeah.
kids I've had who are pregnant at the same time with their mother? Because your mother is in her 30s, you're
I know.
19 having a baby.
Yeah,
She can't be there for you because she's trying to
she's pregnant.
like
Yeah,
like just imagine you trying to have your first child at 19, 18, your mom having her fourth or fifth child because she's also so you got and I've
mhm,
even talked to my students about that too of trying to get them to understand because I can understand how hurt they are to see their mom embarrassing them on social media, right?
mm.
But I'm like, I get it, but I also know the fact that she's also 32.
Yeah,
So
she's still
because she was
growing
a
herself.
child when she had you, yes, that's your mom, and you see that that's your mom, but in her mind, she still feel like her life is just starting. And this is what is the downside of when you have kids young, and
Yeah,
now you got these babies, and now you got the moms who tell the kids to, had a baby and I'll watch the kids for you. And then they don't come to school because then they might not want to watch the baby because she's still 32, want to do what she
yeah.
wants to do. And now we're in this situation where it's like, what do I do? Do I drop out of school? Do I,
Mm,
and unfortunately, we also have the face reality is that there are some mothers, like we identified, who are your biggest bullies and who don't want to see you do better than them. So
yep.
I don't.
I don't want to see you graduate from high school because I didn't.
Yeah,
Because I had
Mhm.
you in high school. So I
yeah.
don't want to help you. I could, but I don't want to
I don't
help you.
want to.
I'm gonna make it so hard for you to give up. And I can't even
Wow.
tell you the amount of times where I've had, you get my students, even when I heard people saying like, these people say the crazy, but my students love and adore me. And I think that the love that they have for me is always went back home to like, I'm with my counselor, I'm my counselor. So when the moms are like, oh, I've heard so much about you, that works for so long until they start to get intimidated. We're like,
Yeah.
you're spending too
Mm,
much time with my daughter,
Yeah.
or
You
like,
trying to
why is she always
replace
in your
me?
office, or why is she all, and it's like, well, we talking about important stuff, and it's also the thing where like, well, what are you talking about? Well, I can't tell you that. I'm sorry. That's
mhm,
I'll lose my job. So it's that other side of it too, where it's like it's this a village, and we've lost that village.
mm,
So you
Oh, we
think
don't got the village no
I'm trying to
more.
yeah,
replace you and be her mama, but you don't even know the the fact that your daughter has told me that I wish you was my mom. Imagine hearing
mhm,
that, I wish you were my mom, or I wish that things were different for me and my mom, or like you hear that. So you have that like you said, that generational curse that just keeps going down because your mom didn't give it to you, you don't want to give it to your daughter, and it just keeps going. And then we get into this dynamic now where it's like, well, who cares? They all have this I don't care attitude. I can do what I want to do. and
Yeah.
yeah,
and it's like
And
that doesn't
I
work.
seen you say something like, why is people okay with just basically stating let them do them, basically,
Yeah, based.
kid,
like we correction is wrong now.
Yep.
It's like, well, why do you care? Let them do what they want to do. Since when have we ever
mm,
been able to do what we want to do? The
Mm-hmm.
neighbor across the street was checking all of us,
Yep.
and it was okay.
absolutely,
Now it's
absolutely,
like, why do you care? Let her do her. Let her. And it's like, that's the problem. And I don't know if we just wishing on a real tall star, but the village is very much so gone.
Yeah.
And I don't know how we even get that back because it's so far gone because the grandmothers are now 35, 32. And then I don't know. I don't recall my mom and my aunties or my dad being outside in their 30s like this.
Mm,
well,
right.
it
They was
what,
at home.
hold on, thank you, they was outside in the backyard.
Right. It was
Okay.
They had
exactly.
they had
Yep.
Card
They had
barbecues. Now
games.
they
yep. Yep.
okay, so
Yep.
they and it was a level of respect. It was a level of responsibility. I'm a
Mhm.
mama out here. I
Yep.
can't
Mhm.
still be in the club every weekend. Now, I remember me and my mom are exactly 20 years apart. So I remember my mom at when I was a little younger, still going to the club, but it was, hey, I'm gonna feed you dinner. I need that
Yeah.
homework done. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go ahead and give you a bath. Your
Yeah.
grandmama is gonna keep you, but then I'm gonna be there to pick you up first thing in the morning. I remember
Mhm.
my mama dropping me off at my grandmama's house, about to fall asleep, putting me in the bed. And when I woke up in the morning, I could smell a perfume from last night. My
Mm.
mama in here because that there she still had a life, but my kids come first. Now
Yeah.
she may have took a nap in the middle of the day, you know what I mean?
We
But
didn't see it though
we
either.
didn't
It's
see none of
our parents did not card games. We had to kind of go upstairs
Right.
we had
Yep.
to stay in
Yep.
there with the kids.
with
Get
Yep.
the
in there with the
kids.
kids. You
Yep.
got the
Yeah.
TV, go play Monopoly. I'll bring y'all something to eat. But now, when you said about why do you care? Let people do them. What people are ignoring is I have a 17-year-old son, and I have been having a lot of struggles with my son. We are working on some things. What people don't recognize is your daughter is going to be who my son
Exactly.
potentially dates.
That's exactly what I say. That's
I
exactly.
don't want my son dating your daughter.
Mhm.
I would, and right now in the mental state that my son is in, I wouldn't want your daughter dating my son.
Right.
So
Right.
I feel that there is a level of responsibility
But
to
Ashley, let me pause right there what you just said. You know how many parents, mothers who would not be able to take that accountability to say they would still think their child is top tier, up the notch, and set your child up, and you know your child is not mentally prepared for that.
so I would like to share this because I have no problem sharing. Some stuff I always keep private because that's my son's story to tell, but some stuff I have no problem telling. I'm calling the police on mine. You're going to jail. People need to understand because I'm a boy mom. I got a 7-year-old and a 17-year-old. Some
Mhm.
of the stuff my son has done, a random stranger on the street would have killed that boy. So
Mm.
before I allow you to escape from consequence, before I allow you to think that that behavior is okay, you're going to get a consequence from me. I'm calling the
Mhm.
police. You're going to jail. Because if I don't handle it, the world is going to handle it. And
Mhm.
then what? Then I'm gonna be the
Mhm.
mama crying over the casket.
Mhm.
Why y'all do my
Mhm.
son like this? Well, ma'am, you have not given that boy any accountability, any consequences, or nothing. And the
Mhm.
same thing when it comes to dating. I am raising somebody's husband. If you follow my content, there are certain things that my boys will know how to do. They will become somebody's husband. They will become somebody's grown man, as I'm trying my best.
Mhm.
Okay. But when it comes to my son, I am teaching both of my sons to have the same standards and respect that I would teach my daughters. My
Mhm.
17-year-old son understands you bring a baby in here if you want to. You, her, and that baby will be somewhere playing house because you're gonna get your 17 jobs to take care of you and her and that baby. Because that's what
Mhm.
grown men do. I wish
Mhm.
I would raise another deadbeat.
Yeah.
It's baffling to me because no, my son is not top tier right now. He's garbage right now. But I pray that after we get the help that we need, we go through therapy, we do all the things that we need. This will be part of his testimony to say, I'm so glad my mom held my feet to the fire.
Yes, help me
If
accountable.
she
Yeah.
did not,
That's
imagine where I would be. And I would rather him go through it now at 17 than to be somebody's dusty ass 35-year-old.
mhm.
You ain't gonna let me borrow the car to go to
Mhm.
work.
Mhm. No, that's called accountability. My
What?
mom
Yeah.
held me accountable. She didn't allow me to get off and just say, because then you look back at like, well, why would you not hold me accountable, mom? Why would you? That's when you get into that. You get older. Why would you let me? Why would? Because we all been like, why
Yep.
would you not say no? Why would you let
Yep.
me? Why would you let me do what I wanted to do? Right?
Yep.
And I say that too. I'm so grateful, as a teenager when we would push the buttons. I'm grateful that my mom told me no
Yep.
sometimes. As much as
Absolutely.
it would be like, oh my gosh, she's so annoying. All she want to do is say no. I am so grateful that she told me no, that I now know, like, oh my God, thank God she did not say yes, because who knows so we, again, like you said, we've lost it. We've lost the desire to want to care. And I think, like you said, Shabby, I don't know where we go, because again, the challenge of challenging Black women, it has come down to a domino effect, a trickle down effect of nobody cares. And it's the go-to is, why do you care? And now you have a bunch of young girls who are telling you to mind your business and let them do what they want to do. And then now I know, for me, when I was growing up, I didn't really, it was always the boys who were, like going to like the juvenile, lockup and stuff like that. But now it's like, I've had multitude of girl students who have come to school on ankle monitors because they're on probation, getting arrested, getting sent away. So like it is changed. And I'm not saying that it's ever been okay for boys, but it was just different. It
Yeah.
was just different for what girls didn't get involved into. And in my city, it's like you have girls committing I have two students right now, two girls who are in prison right now for unaliving someone, or conspiracy,
Mhm.
and one unaliving someone. So
Mhm.
this stuff is very, very real, because they're out here doing what they want to do. They can do whatever they want to
Too
do.
many points to prove with women right now.
Yeah. It's like you have to, and the unfortunate side is we're proving it to each other.
Exactly. It's like fighting for like the top spot of
Yes.
attention. It's attention. It's
Yes.
really the women, and I say it all the time, and they be like thinking that somebody against women. I have never seen women so far out of control like they are right now. It
Hmm.
is
Mhm.
us. Men have not changed. They've always been exactly what they are, whatever that is to whatever they think men is. If it's
Right.
not shit, if they did whatever it is, they've been like that. But when I look around now, it's the women. We are so far out of an alignment with what we are supposed to be doing, that
Mm-hmm.
is
Mhm.
not even funny. And it's so far out of alignment that it's like some days I'd be like, you know what? Delete the TikTok and just get to your life, because at this point, baby, I don't know.
It's like you just said, like looking at, like, even like you put the post about like Glorilla, and just seeing how I thought she looked uncomfortable, very
Just
much
like that.
uncomfortable.
They changed her just like that.
Just like that. Like literally
She
just
did
like
look
that.
uncomfortable. She
And
looked
it
so unsure of herself. I'm like,
and it's like that right there is, just making you feel like that's the only way. Like you said, they don't want us. My husband was just saying that they don't want us for anything productive. If it's ghetto, ratchet, dirty, trashy, over sexualized, call us. And
Mm.
they keep giving us these platforms to embarrass ourselves.
But
And
the
that is what
problem is we keep going.
we keep,
Some,
exactly,
not
we keep
all.
going. Yes, that's what we
Everything
keep
is for
going. We keep
sale.
supporting. We keep they know they know the thing about it is they know that we will do. Unfortunately, we will lot money is just like it's like money is God to a lot of these women.
Yes,
Materialistic
it
things
is.
is who they worship. So, like you said, they know if I flash a little bit of cash in her, man, I can get her to say and do whatever. And it's like look at like once you put it out there, it's out there.
Mm.
That
It's
is what
out
I'm
there.
trying to, that is exactly what I feel like I'm trying to really step in the center of.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like because they're not going to necessarily receive it from you because you're married. So they feel like you don't count. You not
Mm-hmm.
around, you not in the, you don't know what we going through.
Mm-hmm.
You don't, it don't count to you. She's been married before. Been married before and divorced. So they'll use that shot at her. Then they always come to me and say, well, if you know so much, where your man at? But
Right.
it's better for me to kind of center myself because it's like I it's kind of like okay, she's still outside, she's still keeping up with the nonsense,
Mm-hmm.
still in the center of it, but I need them to understand you don't have to be of it.
Right.
Mhm.
You
Right.
don't
You can
have to be
still
of it.
right, exactly.
And they
Well,
don't
But like
get that part.
and this is the part, yes, this is the part that I'm trying to gather my words because I try to, this ain't my platform. If this was my platform,
you're
I
all
would
good.
have.
You're all good.
So 1,000% agreed. I have been married and divorced, and I shared my story. When people ask me, well, Ashlee, why did you get a divorce? Because I was a strong, independent Black woman who didn't need no man, and I'm gonna show you I can do it without you. How is that
Mm,
conducive to a marriage?
mm,
When I share my story about how I called my ex-husband and I apologized, and I asked him if you could give me 3 things that I could have done better in our marriage to be a better wife, what would have been? I ain't never asking no man what I could do
yep.
better because I know
That
I did the best I could.
yep. There is
I
no
was
we you can't do you can't. They don't
I
want
was so out of line. I was
Mhm.
so out of control. I was operating out of fear and out of a scarcity mindset. I was so
Mhm.
afraid to give this man say so over me. It was horrendous. But
Mm,
even though we got a divorce and the marriage should have still ended because there was some other things going on. That's irregardless. I only worry about what I could have done better because I can only control me. But when
mm,
I got back outside and I started making content about how to date to attract a different type of man. Well, Ashlee, how do you have these men? I've always met generous men. I've always met men that
Same.
wanted to treat me well. Some of the stories now I done had some run-ins.
Same.
I mean, because they all can't be good, but I've
Right.
had more positive interactions with Black men than
Same.
negative. And so
Same.
I always have people ask, well, Ashlee, how did you get all these men to propose to you? How did you get all these men to take care of you? How did you get all these men to spend by? I spent on myself.
mm,
How did you get these men to take care of you? I took care of myself. How did you
mhm,
get these men to see your worth? I seen my own. Men will treat you how you treat yourself. And if they don't treat you how you treat yourself, cut them off and move on. You
mhm,
staying around waiting on this man to give you something different is not, either he see it or he don't. And that's it. And when you start looking at a lot of women, to go hand in hand with what you were saying, Chevy, these people will do anything for a dollar. They'll do
Yeah.
anything for money. But if you got your own money, you can't buy me. I'm straight as a single woman, but what I recognize is I don't want to be. I am
mhm,
doing what I need to do out of necessity. I am leaving the space for a good husband to come in and say, "Baby, don't worry about this no more. I got it." Okay,
mm, yeah,
because that's what I want.
right.
Instead of me putting on this facade like I'm strong, I got it, I don't need nobody to come and do nothing for me. I take care of myself. I don't want to be.
Mhm,
My
That's
wrists are
not what
broke.
they want. They be
They don't want
lying.
it.
Why do
They
mhm,
we
are
get up
lying.
here and lie and say we don't need no man? Yeah, you baby, you want one.
You
Cause
want
my
it?
thing with that, that's why I be dogging them and don't be caring because I do not like how I don't like how they be lying. If you don't need a man like you say you don't, then you shouldn't be dealing with a man at all. Period.
And
If
that's
these things ain't,
exactly that
if they
part.
not shit like y'all say 24/7, you wouldn't even be laying down with nobody. How
How
you
That
y'all getting
part.
pregnant?
pregnant? How y'all getting pregnant?
How is
These
y'all
men ain't
pregnant?
nothing, and
That's
you
why I
don't
said
want
if
no
we are
man.
so, if we are so, that's my whole thing. Because they say we don't want to be married. We happy being by ourselves, but the babies are being born. So we can't be that happy alone, and we are still popping out baby after baby, maternity picture after maternity pictures. The babies are being born. So y'all are so called so happy by yourself. And then these children are being born to fulfill you and to be your sense of control.
Yes.
And
Talk
now they got
about
it.
it.
Now, when you done with them, they're not cute anymore. You on to the next thing. And then now these
Yep.
children are here. And
They
that's
Yes.
my
only
thing.
having the babies with the hope that the man changes his mind about them.
Yep.
These people don't want these kids for real. They're having
They
the
don't
kids
want
with
them
the hopes
kids.
that the man changes his feelings
Yep.
for them. Once they realize that the man still don't like them, that's why all the kids get mistreated because
Yes.
their mamas never wanted them to
Tell the
begin
truth.
with.
Tell the
That's
truth.
this. The women just be lying, and I'm gonna be the one to check them every single time at the gate. Stop lying.
Yep. That's why I said it's a lie.
Do
And
the
it's sad.
work on yourself. Just say that ain't nobody ever respected you enough to love on you. Don't try to say all men ain't nothing. Just say
Yep.
you never experienced a good man.
Yeah.
That's
Don't
it.
And
try to throw that out there on
they
everybody.
stay in that fear forever. They have one man, two men treat them bad. It's all men. And in their mind, I give up. I've been
Hmm.
asked a lot. How am I willing? How am I so able to move on after having, because I did get out of a bad relationship, but how are you able just to move on? If you have a car wreck, you don't stop driving.
Right.
You
You
get
got to still
fired
get.
from a
Yep.
job, you don't stop working. If you have to move out of an apartment, you don't never live nowhere else. If you
Hmm.
I am just a firm believer that my future goal is way bigger than anything that I could do that I would want to miss out of right now. And I understand that's one man, that's one relationship. That's not going to be the next. And if it is the next, and you are going through a pattern of bad relationships, bad
Hmm.
men, whatever, it's time for you to check yourself because most likely you are attracting what you are. You are attracting what you are, and you are only allowing these people to do what they do. People can't do to you what you don't allow them to. And Chevy said something when we first started this live. You were like, these women are really naive. Some of them are, but most of them are not.
Most of them aren't. No,
Most of them
they
know
are very
exactly what
aware,
they're doing.
very aware. And the easier thing is to pretend like I'm not, so I don't have to hold myself
I
accountable.
want to be the victim
I want to be a
because
victim.
then I can
I can
associate,
say,
then I
yep,
can trauma bond with
yep,
the other women in the friend group because she was a victim, she was a victim, I'm a victim too. Well, the reality is, you can't tell me you didn't know that man was a bum. He was living
right.
on his auntie
It was
couch
all,
when you met
yep,
He
him.
was a
You
good dad before I got pregnant. They killed me with that one.
all of a sudden, now come on now. Now, if anybody gonna tell the truth, I will tell the truth. I picked my ex-husband because he looked like a good dad. But what I
mm,
overlooked is he had 4 kids with 2 women. Now he married me. And you know what I said? I'm different.
because he met, yep.
Because he married me. I'm different. But then you're surprised when you have a struggle co-parenting. That you had 2 examples before you. I will never
Hmm.
sit here on this good app and be like, I didn't know. He lied to me. No, I knew, but I thought I was gonna be different. And when I discovered I wasn't, guess what? You gotta deal with it
You got to do,
until it works itself out. What I'm not gonna do is sit here on this app and talk crazy about him and fight him back and forth every day. And well, you can't see your son. I'm not doing all of that. I picked you, and now I gotta make it work with your square
When
head
they say
ass.
how
But
do you
guess
move
what?
on, when they ask you questions like that, I think one thing for sure that women need to understand, actually two things for sure women need to understand. First and foremost, I think most women, if not, no, not all, because I don't roll like that, most
Yeah.
women need to stop attaching their self-worth and their self-esteem to men.
mm-hmm,
They start
mm-hmm.
attaching their selves to men. So if the man cheats, oh, oh, I'm not good enough. If the man doesn't act right, oh, I'm not good. Who can? And then they be like, oh, you stick up with for the men. I don't care enough to talk about what a man is and is not doing because I have no control over what that man is doing. I had somebody get in my comment section yesterday and say, hey, look, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but I want to know, you get up here, you talk good, you seem like you got it all figured out. May I ask, why are you single? And I answered, I said, I literally jumped in there. This was on IG. I jumped on the comment and I said, I tried my best to stay out the comment section, but I'm going to answer your question.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I have some common sense and have it figured out does not exempt me from people who don't got it figured out. When
Right,
people
right,
ask me, why am I single? I'm not exempt from people playing games with me either.
Yeah.
I'm not
right.
exempt from the BS. I'm just
Yep.
aware of it.
Mm-hmm.
You can't run game on me because I'm aware of it. So I don't have control over what no man's intentions are for me. I only have control over what I choose to do after you show me your intentions. If women
Exactly.
just simply disconnect their self
Like
and
we see, yep.
stop making it personal. These people
I,
are going to do what they want to do. It's not personal.
They don't
I
care
think,
nothing
I
about
think,
you.
but I think we act like we don't have a choice. Like you just said, Chevy,
Exactly. We
once you
have a
expose me to
choice.
who you are, now it's up to me to do what I want to do with that information or what,
Yeah.
like,
Exactly.
we have choices. And like you
Oh,
said,
you
as
cheated? They act like
that's a choice.
we got to stay. We don't
Right, we
gotta
don't have
stay.
to. We don't have to. So there's
Leave.
a choice, but again,
But I
it's so
love
much
him.
easier. It's so much easier to be for us to be like again, the way that we connect as women, girls, sisterhood, it is fueled off of trauma bonding, victimness, uh victim that like that is all that's it. Like there is
That's
no
because that's that lack of accountability.
absolutely. It's a group of women who are in this. It was how could they do that to me? How could he do this to me? And it could be in
Why
all areas
not
of
you?
your life.
And
It
am
could
Who
I
be
the
are
only
you?
one? Am I the only one that sees this correlation as well? Let me go ahead and toot my horn real quick. I own my salon and I have owned my business in that salon since 2018. I own my own home. I am educated as well. When it comes to TikTok, I know some people use it as entertainment, but I'm monetized on all of my social media platforms. Everybody's cutting a check every month. I have worked far too hard to
Mhm,
let any man, let anybody, to be honest, I have worked far too hard to allow anybody to come in here and destroy what I have worked so hard for.
mhm,
So allowing a man to attach himself to me and cheat on me, use me, and then I watch my life that I have worked very hard to build decline behind a man that's already not treating me well, why would I do that?
or
And
try to get your lick back? They self-sabotage with that. He did
it's
you
a
wrong.
waste
Now
of
you
energy for
outside.
me. I have
yeah,
all of this greatness going on in my life. Why would I waste my time getting my lick back? I tell people all the time when if a man has ever mistreated me, I
mhm,
leave because
mhm,
I
Remember,
know I will be the greatest loss you'll ever take.
yeah.
I feel so sorry
And
for you.
and but the thing is, if we again, this goes back to knowing who you are, knowing your
yeah,
worth,
Mhm.
knowing your
yep.
value, that you can again, it's like you have a choice, like you said. But too often, right? Too often when you point out to a woman like, hey sis, you know, you had a choice, that you didn't have to stay in that. It's like, well, you're bashing me, you're tearing me down. It's like, no, well, I'm
Or
just bringing to the
judging me.
forefront, right? Or
Victim
judging me. Like,
blaming.
if you take accountability that like I didn't have to stay, right? We're not talking about anything that was involuntary. You weren't, nobody was forced you. It was not
Yeah.
a DD situation where it was, altering your thinking. But some things you chose to stay because you like the money, you like the house,
Mhm.
you were getting something you were getting something out of it, that you chose to either ignore it or tell yourself that you could just suck it up and work through it. And you might have tried, but then if it keeps getting worse, that's when you have to say, you know what, me staying, this car wasn't worth staying, that house wasn't worth me staying, that wasn't worth my morals, it wasn't worth my self-worth to just stick it out and degrade myself or allow somebody to degrade me for money. And like I said,
I can
money.
even understand if they were staying because this man was financially providing. Talk about the ones that are not getting anything.
Oh yeah.
They're getting absolutely
Well,
nothing. You're
they're
getting
getting whatever
cheated on.
they're anything to us is any, but they're still the way that I think the way that these women, however their mind is, that the smallest thing to them is just that attention is a
Yeah.
big thing.
Yep.
That's a big, big
I
thing.
can't
So it's,
relate, baby.
and
I'll
it's
give
like you're
myself
getting
attention
that, but
every
that
day.
attention that you are get like that, even if it's even if he come and play with you every Friday when he feel like it, that attention that you thrive and you need so badly is enough to keep you right there.
Yep.
That's
And
just
isn't that speaking volumes to what they think of themselves?
yeah,
Because
absolutely.
Absolutely.
maybe,
Absolutely.
and I mean, some people will say I have pretty privilege. I don't see it. I'm all right, but I don't see it like that. If it's attention I'm seeking, baby, I will go outside and let
Mm-hmm.
these men at the gas station, let these men at the grocery store give me some attention before I stay in a relationship where I know I am not being valued, I'm being mistreated. I
Mm-hmm.
will get up and take myself out. That is something that I did after I went through my divorce because I fully believed that my worth was contingent upon what I could add to the relationship monetarily. I
Mm-hmm.
thought in my mind that as long as I made a lot of money and I could pay this and I could buy this, that
It was gonna
made
be fine.
me
Yeah.
somebody. It does not. Men
Yep.
don't come and get us as women for our monetary, provision. Now, don't get me wrong, in the year 2024, we got to pay some bills sometimes. Stuff costs too much, and I'm cool with that. But what I had to recognize is a real grown man, he is after me for my feminine energy. He's after
Mm-hmm.
me for my smile. He's after me for
Mm-hmm.
my warmth, my comfort, my nurturing
Your
spirit,
support. Yep. Your love.
support
It's yeah.
for
It's things
a
that can't
fun
be
time.
bought. Yep.
And that's what I see. Thank you. That's what I see a lot of women do. They attach or associate their worth with the things that are tangible. Well, I drive this, I got this, I live here.
Mm-hmm.
All of that can be replaced by any woman. What
Yep.
is unique about you that would make a good man want to deal with you?
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of them know that it's nothing. So
Nothing. I
I
know.
stay
I.
with that man because at least he
That's,
act like he want me,
yep.
2, 3
Yep.
times a month. And that's really sad
It
because I
is.
feel
That's,
like if you do the work on yourself, and I'm not saying I'm perfect at all, please don't anybody take this as me saying that I'm without flaw. I took a year and a half off after my divorce, went through therapy, fixed my mind, started really loving on myself. I was taking myself out on dates. I started new hobbies. I
mm-hmm.
discovered what made Ashlee happy
Mm-hmm.
without it being attached to anybody else. And that was the best decision that I ever could have made because when I finally did decide to start dating again, the level of men changed. When
Yeah.
we talk about challenging Black women to say, go to therapy, I don't need therapy, I'm fine. No, you do. To say,
Mm-hmm.
hey, sis, maybe it's how you're thinking, maybe it's how you carrying yourself. No, I can get any man I want. You can get any man you want to sleep with you, but you can't get any man that you
Anyway,
want to be in
and
a
that's
relationship, to be committed to you. We have to challenge
you gotta
ourselves
count.
to be
Yeah.
better so
Mm-hmm.
that we can
You can
attract
receive
a
better.
better
Yeah. You
quality of people, period.
in general,
Friends,
friends.
relationships, business opportunities. And I noticed, and I'll say this, I don't want to monopolize the floor, but even as a mom, when I decided to really fix my own self-worth, I could
Mm-hmm.
love my kids better. I love
Mm-hmm.
me and I love you. The better I treat myself, the better prepared, the better I can show up for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I am so glad that my children were old enough to understand that mommy needs that hour from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. to mentally get ready so I can love you all day.
Mm-hmm.
Give me this time. Once I started really challenging myself to love myself enough to take care of myself, the way everybody else around me treated me was so totally different.
Yeah. And that's the whole, that is my that is literally my whole basis of my content is about us as women realize if we do the work,
Mhm.
doors will open. You'll start to see things that you
Literally.
like you said, you'll start to be like, wow, I never even knew that these people were out here in the world.
Mhm. Yep.
Because you have never, like, now that your mind is clear, your vision, like you were kind of seeing gray at first and you're seeing
Mhm.
clear as ever because now you are fully prepared and equipped to receive those good things, right?
Yep.
Like I said this all the time to women that we always say ain't no good men I'm like, you could have had many of them come and walk right past you.
And would never
Because
know.
you were right, you never know because you were not ready to receive him. And had you had the interaction, you would have probably messed it up because you were not in a place. So again, when we
Yep.
challenge you to just do better, it can be from relationships, like you said, to friendships, to your job, like just your overall how things are happening in your life. If you start to
Mhm.
say, you know what, I gotta do better. And I
Yep.
think what you just touched on too, when we think about finding our identity outside of just our kids and
Mhm.
challenging yourself. For me, when I created Just a Girl in 2017, that to me was like my thing to do for me, right? Like it wasn't
Mhm.
attached to my kids, wasn't attached to my husband, and it was something that I had always really, just loved being around other women. But it was like, okay, I'm gonna start something new. It was scary at first. I didn't
Yeah.
really know what to expect, but I knew that it was something I was passionate about, and I needed to have like my own thing, and it
Mhm.
and it wasn't I remember like going back to feeling when I first had my son and feeling like, my husband has his friends and I didn't have any friends. It was just like you feel lonely because you feeling
Yeah.
like, dang, like what else do I do now? Now I'm just a mom and you're trying to figure out how to navigate through that and still, like you said, figure out who you are and then
Yeah.
identify yourself and challenging yourself to do more. But we have become a lot of the women have become so content with being at the bottom, like we are okay with like where we're at. And I think, as I said in the beginning, I was naive at first to even knowing how bad it was for us as Black women, because you're looking at your own circle of friends that we all good. And so it's like, oh, everybody good. But you look at like this is not everybody's reality. Everybody
Yeah.
is not operating in a place of out of love and healing and accountability. Like we are at the
Mhm.
bottom and there's too many of us who are, it's like they're okay with being there. And it's so sad because I've seen so many creators over the last couple of days, especially Black female creators, just saying how they're like, I'm giving up. Like I'm tired
Mm.
of talking to these women. I'm not giving no more information. I'm gonna just do my little fun, cute content, and they could wash away. And I'm like, this is where it's going, because the fight, the backlash, like you gotta put your armor on. You gotta go to war
And
if if
I
you want to
hate to
do
say
this.
this. I hate to say this. It's just how I look at it. I don't do what I do for the money
Mhm.
because it ain't enough money
Mhm.
to deal with this stress. But the reality is drama sells.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
if
Absolutely.
my little drama allows me to drop some nuggets that positively affect somebody along the way, then it was
Mhm.
still worth it. I feel like I have still fulfilled my purpose in that. And it does get to a point to where I'm like, it's certain topics that I don't want to touch because no matter how much it makes sense, the topic of 50-50.
Mhm. Yeah.
I just was on a panel yesterday talking about that. I had to read back, make my own video. I'm so tired of that.
I, for the life of me, cannot understand how some women will turn their nose up at
Mhm.
50-50 when you paying 100% by yourself. And I'm not saying 50-50 and he cheating, he lying, he'll never come home. Like you said, they always got to add that
It's the
caveat. Well,
nuance. That's
why
always.
I'm not going, I'll protect my peace and pay 100%. Listen, but to have a man come in my house, in our house, whatever, and take half of this off of me, to have a man in this house that helped me with these kids, to have a man in this house when I see the sink is stomped up, because I'm a homeowner.
Mhm.
Something in this house break, I gotta fix it. To have a man come in here and say, babe, the sink drain is draining slow. I'm gonna fix it tomorrow. Do you understand the I just
The weight
okay,
lifted. That just.
I just feel protected and loved.
Mhm.
And 50% of these bills, you know how much that is? And when you look at long term, 50-50 may not be forever. 50-50
And
is until he finishes his degree. He gets the business up and popping until y'all get the mortgage paid down. Whatever the reason or what you're waiting on. But there are so many women that got it made up in their mind. I'll never go
I
50
can't go
with
fit,
a
and
man.
like you said, but like you just said, or you living on, eh, you're living in a place that you don't want to be in. You're
Mm,
struggling, You barely could pay your bills.
You're
Like the
already
aesthetic,
behind.
the
Yes.
aesthetics of saying and thinking that, and even again, we're allowing other women, you're allowing another woman to
I
keep
tell
you
you.
stuck.
Yes,
But she
ma'am.
won't do
Single
50-50.
women keep women single.
Yes, she
That
won't do
part.
50-50, but she ain't got nobody who won't even do 50-50 with her. But you got somebody who will do 50-50 with you. And she's telling you, girl, I want to do that. But look, I'm struggling.
You don't
You're
have
watching me struggle.
anything.
You have nothing.
You have nothing. Now, again, I understand. And we got into a nice little heated debate on one of my lives. If you, for example, if it's a man that's been paying $3,000 a month by himself, why would you want to
Mhm,
come only give me 1,000?
mhm,
Like that, you
mhm,
know what I mean? That don't make
mhm,
sense.
mhm.
But if you have a man, you've been paying 1,500 and I've been paying 1,500, why are we not splitting the 1,500 down the middle? And then everybody can get ahead. It
Mhm.
screams to me that not only do single women want to keep other women single, but it also, and this is why they call me a pick me, y'all don't want black men ahead at all.
Oh,
Y'all don't want black
wow.
men ahead at all,
Mm-mm.
because how on earth does it not make sense to you for both of y'all to save money, both of y'all to have extra disposable income to get out of debt, both of y'all work together to start the business, invest in this so y'all both can be good?
Both,
I
yeah.
fully believe that they want these men to come in and take care of them, offer nothing in return so they can be in a better position. It's something about always being above somebody, in my
Mhm.
opinion, because otherwise, please give me 50-50. Give it to me now. Like, you want to pay half his mortgage? What? That would be
That's
a
like
joy.
music to your ears, right?
Yeah.
Music to your ears.
I don't get it. I don't understand
I
it.
think
But
what it is for the. I think what it is, and this is not 100% what it is, but I think women, they love the attention from numerous of men. Most
mm,
women say they want a relationship, but most of
Mhm,
them don't want the relationship and attention from just one person. So what
mhm,
women tend to do is get in a relationship with one man temporarily, to drain him completely, to give her this look for a lifestyle. You know,
mhm,
it's more of a lifestyle. So then when that doesn't work out, they're actually okay with that not working out. And they'll go to the next man and drain him.
mhm.
That is why, if you think about it, because why else don't y'all want to give up some of y'all money?
right.
Because you really only want to just get ahead for your own selfish reasons, to paint this picture so that you can really try to climb slowly to the top by using all the men at the bottom. They have no problem using all the 9 to 5 men. But when they feel that they didn't use them enough, now I need my 6 figure man. After you done used everybody with the hopes that somebody can come capture you from a lifestyle that you never started yourself. You've
Mhm.
only used the men. You never put in the pot to begin with. And
Yeah.
it's all to climb to the top in a fake way so that the man at the top can assume that's her lifestyle and come capture her. And she never had to do any work to begin with.
But what they don't know is the man at the top that's making the 6, 7 figures, that man has worked far too hard
To
to
come, yep.
accumulate that 6, 7 figures. They're not giving you anything.
Yep.
They're not.
They're not giving you anything. They are expecting these men, like you said, to come in, swoop them up, save them. They know you've been run through. No disrespect. They know
Disrespect. Y'all are ran through.
the type of history you have. And I'm not talking about body count. I'm talking about you having a nasty spirit, you being
Yep.
Yeah.
manipulative,
Yeah.
you're not willing to cooperate, you're not giving anything in return. They know what kind of woman you are. They smell you a mile away. They did
Mhm.
not become that successful by being naive. They're not fooling with you. And what ends up happening is these are the women that we see hit late 30s, early 40s screaming, it ain't no good men. Sis, you done passed up 5
Okay,
husbands
yep.
in
So
the
too
last 10
many.
years.
Too many. And then we think, you think I want this to be the future for our girls,
Right.
to continue this cycle, to keep this thing going. Because like you said, you didn't pass up some really good men, some good men who would love you, care for you, put up with your stuff, build with you. But like you said earlier, imagine me building with a man. Imagine me supporting a man. Ima- Imagine, like, even just that, like challenging you to be more supportive, more loving, more caring. It's like, imagine
Mm.
that. We have the nature of a woman it's like diminishing, like
Yeah.
the who we are as God created us to be. It is completely like they don't want to be soft, loving, caring. It's like, well, what kind of mothers are, because a lot of y'all are mothers.
They're horrible ones. I said what I said. And
Like,
what they don't see is just my experience from dealing with men. You get so much more out of those men being sweet and kind and nice.
yep.
I get the treatment that I get when I turn into the, well, how was your day?
Yeah,
Do you understand? And then the
yeah,
same
it's a
thing with my
difference.
same thing with my kids. Like I just made a video the other day. I don't wake my kids up hooping and hollering. I don't wake my kids up. Come on, you're gonna be late. Hurry up, go, go, go. I don't do none of that. I wake my children. Well, I don't wake my kids up at all because they got alarms working on some independence. But the fact of the matter is, I am blessed to be self-employed to the point to
Mhm.
where I'm not going anywhere until both of my kids are off at school. I want my kids to know that I love them. I wake them up every morning. My 7-year-old get woke up every morning singing a song. It's a song I make up every day. It's different every day. And I need him to know that I love him and I support him. We make breakfast together and he is able to get on that bus with a smile on his face. And guess what?
Mhm.
Every day he gets off the bus with a smile on his face. And my motherly, feminine, loving energy is what did that.
Yep,
The same
exactly.
thing when I'm in a relationship with a man. My loving and supportive and caring and nurturing spirit is what puts a smile on that man's face. And he loves to see a smile on my face.
Mhm.
So he is going to do just about anything to make sure that smile stays on my face. I can't relate when people, I ain't never had a man do this. Ooh, well, honey, I'm sorry, I can't relate. Maybe it's because you've never done that for him. And
Yep.
like you said, Janine, they don't want to put into no man. What I look like Barbara the Builder, but what you don't realize is I'm not saying lose yourself in building a
Mhm.
man. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that when y'all are both meeting at the same point in life, and for y'all to build a beautiful life together, that man will see you as an intricate part in that life. I couldn't have done this without this woman.
Right,
So
because
I
we come with,
need her here.
yep, because we come with different things, right? You come with your skills, I come with my skills. We
Mhm.
put these skills together, and boom, here we
Yep,
go. Like
absolutely.
that's the essence of building. But you have to be, in order for you to come to even meet somebody where they're at, you have to have yourself together to even come with your skills to be able to even, because a lot of us have skills.
For
We just are
sure.
not healthy and healed enough to even know how to use those skills.
Yep.
And too
Agreed.
many of us are so broken and so damaged
Yeah.
that you like you don't even know what's in you, like you have completely lost. And it's really, really, like I said, it's really, really sad to see the point that we're at. Like you said, we are talking about life or death, right? Like we talk about
Literally.
like
Yeah.
health, like literally our communities are like, it's out of control. So we're talking about people really getting their lives together to be here for their children, to be
Mhm.
here to see your grandchildren, and we are fighting to say, who cares? Like that is the sad reality
Yeah.
of like, when do what do we take seriously? What is really, and I think that, for I said this before, I hate the fact that the only time that we get so like uncomfortable is when somebody's unalived. It's
And
like
it
that's
depends.
like,
It depends if we did it.
is
Because
that
if one of us did it, oh
right?
man,
It's
that's
on, is that
crazy.
exactly, if it's
But
the
if
other,
it's an
yep, if it's,
outside,
yep, outside, yep, that's when
yep,
we get very protect us and we need to get justice. But we're talking about us today. Like, let's talk about us today and where we are today, so we can be more proactive instead of having to be so reactive
yep.
then it's when it's too late.
And I think relative to the conversation about the clothing stores, my thing is show me when we have ever been able to change the systems.
Exactly.
Tell
Never.
show me when we've ever, so instead of us wasting all this energy trying to make them conform to us, why not create our own? Why not make our own way? And I know that sounds so hard, but it is literally not, because
Mhm.
even if talking about the losing weight, I'm a plus size woman. I have no problem saying I'm 5'10", 275. I know I need to be smaller than that.
Mhm.
But I will hear people say I can't afford to lose weight because eating healthy is expensive. It is expensive. But
Mhm.
either you can spend the money now on food, on working out, on a trainer, on workout equipment, or you can spend the money later on medical costs,
Mhm.
on medicine. When you done lost the leg to diabetes, heaven
Yeah.
forbid. You know what I mean? When I look at the fact that my children need to eat a certain kind of way so my babies can have the healthiest life.
Yeah.
I cannot afford not to do it.
Yeah.
I'm so tired of us making excuses
Making
on why we can't
excuses.
do these
Too
things,
many excuses to
but
do
we got
better.
money for everything else.
It's
Everything
not
else.
excuses, it's hard. You know how hard it is to put in work? People don't want to do the work.
And that's fine. So here's my thing. Everybody ain't gonna go. There are some people that are just not gonna go. They're not
Mhm.
going to accept that they need to be better. And though when you said you've taught about just deleting the app, those are the people we just ignore. Block party.
Oh,
I'll
I'm not
be
deleting the app. I'm here
I
to
be
fire.
so I be so quick to hit that block because those are the people who are not going to go. And it's okay. If you don't agree, I don't expect people to agree with everything I say. But if I said that being 350 pounds as a 5'7" woman is not
Mhm.
healthy because you have an apple shape, which means you're carrying a lot of weight in your midsection, leading to heart
Mhm.
disease, sleep apnea, and all these other issues. Well, what if she got PCO?
It's all I'm telling you, we gotta stop. We have to stop with all I'm telling you, you say don't go outside looking presentable, but you don't know if she got
Oh,
cancer. You don't know. It's like always, it's like, well, we don't know. You're right. We don't know, but there's
I know she don't have
always
cancer. I'm looking at the lace front hang from under the bonnet. I can see
we
I can see
create too
the
many
ponytail.
it's too many nuances. Again, saying like we said, any reason these are the same women who I can only imagine what your friend group is like. If you make y'all all in shambles because ain't nobody holding
Mm,
nobody accountable. Y'all all making excuses for each other. Well, you don't know what she's going through, and you don't know. It's again, life is always going to be life, and you're gonna
yeah.
have to learn how to maneuver through that thing,
Yep.
figure out how to push through, take care of
Gosh.
yourself. But you people don't care. Like I tell my son my kids all the time, you go out to this world, nobody cares about you crying because
Don't.
you're upset. You have a right to be upset, but it's about how
Yeah.
you respond and how
Yeah.
you show up when you are upset. You got to go to work every day. You got to figure it out and push yourself to get through that in
Yeah.
the best way that you can. But people don't have to have a sympathy for you because you got a sad story. They don't have to care.
Not
They
at all.
don't. And that's the part that unfortunately as black women we have been running with this victim card for so long that if anybody challenges us to do better, anyone who looks like us, our own people, because your post Ash is the when you put that post up saying who can really tell black women who can actually tell us anything, it's really like who can?
And you
Who
you seen the comment section though, right?
yeah,
Nobody.
nobody.
Nobody. And I would like to say this too. When I have something hard going on, and I tell my clients the same thing, I tell my friends the same thing. I fully believe of giving myself 24 to 48 hours. It depends on how hard it is. If I
Mm,
need 72 hours, that's fine. You do need to give yourself time to process through. A lot of times we will make emotionally based decisions. And like let's just call a spade a spade. You go through a bad breakup, you go through what you think is depression, but it's really not depression. You're just wallowing in the fact that
mhm,
this relationship is over. You didn't go to work for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. You did all of this retail therapy to make myself feel better. You did all of this emotional eating. You did this emotional drinking and smoking to make
mhm,
yourself feel better, but you are not addressing why your feelings are hurt. 3 weeks later, you finally decide to come out of your funk. You go to get your check the week after, and your check is nothing. You
mm,
go to look at your bank account, it's zero. Or you look at the credit card statement and it's sky high. Now you behind on your bills. Now you trying to figure out why your pants don't fit. Well, you done gained 10 pounds in them 3 weeks of emotional eating. We have got to learn to address our things head first. It is
mhm,
okay to be hurt. It's okay to be disappointed, but don't make any decisions based on emotions. I've watched people go into financial like critical debt
Yeah.
because I want this car because I'm gonna show him I can get a car without him. Now your interest rate is 19% on this car. You'll never get it paid off. Like we don't use our logic. Some black women do not use their logic when they make decisions. That's why all these conversations are feeling
Feeling.
based,
Yep.
Attack.
emotion based decisions.
Yep.
For me to say that we need to lose weight for health, what I feel, I just stated a fact. I
Right.
didn't ask you what you felt.
What you
A
feel.
fact
Yep.
is, a lot of Americans are obese, especially in the black community. There
Hmm.
are all these reasons why, but why do we have to accept those reasons? How about we do something to change it? How about we do something to change our financial situation? I get tired of people saying, "Well, I'm here because I'm broke and I'm struggling." Why are you broke or struggling? Because I can't make no money. Why not? Because I got kids. I got kids. Why
Hmm.
you can't make no money? I got kids. Well,
Because we as women, especially black women, our ego is way too big that you can't make no money, or you can't do what you want to do, or get where you want to be because your ego is too caught up in doing better. So you rather be at the bottom struggling to not have to say you work at this job or that job just to fit the aesthetics. Because you would never catch me at no McDonald's per se. Let's use that
Mm-hmm.
example. You won't catch
being
me there.
average is bad.
But
Working
look
a
at where
regular
you are
job is
right now.
bad.
Yep.
Our
Being average
ego
is
is
bad.
it's really, 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 really sad. And I think again, the reality of it is this where we are today. I don't know what 5 to 10 years is going to look like for our children, and that's the thing that is my biggest thing. What are our children going to be faced with? What is the image of black people, black women? What is it going to be? Because right now, if this is where we go, and you got kids who turn 18 and OnlyFans becomes it just becomes now this is the way of living, and it's just any way to go viral. Like everybody's looking for a viral moment. I'll do anything and everything, any skit, any degrading thing to
Yeah.
go viral because I know it'll take me places. That's where we are. So if I challenge you to say, hey sis, don't do that, like you don't gotta go that route. I didn't need to have to do it to tell you that it didn't work, because I seen my sister do it, my aunt do
Yeah.
it, my grandma do it, everybody done did it, and I'm telling you that
Yeah.
don't do it, don't work. I didn't do it because I was watching, but I'm telling you the same thing that I wish, other people would have told my friends or whoever. So I think, like you said, when you get caught up in, like, if you don't have the story that they want, you might as well just shut up. And even then, I always think like, well, who is the person? Like, who has the right story that can tell
Yeah.
us something? But again, if it's purely, long as you are lying to us as black women, you're golden. Lie to us, tell us that we're great, we are
Mm.
healthy, we're the best people on earth, we do nothing wrong. Or you do the I hate black men, they trash, they dumb, they terrible. Then you can really go up. So you got two
Yeah.
ways you can really capture us in. And unfortunately, we don't realize that meant that way of thinking of either you coddle us and lie to us, or we drag the black men. We end up just staying stuck. And we have so many women who have capitalized. Like I said, I don't do this for money. This is truly my passion, and I feel like my purpose. But we have so many women who are capitalizing on the pain of black women.
Yep.
They know that this is what I can do, because she gonna fall for my little story. I'm gonna tell her what I need to tell her, get her to shut up and listen and send me all her money, and I'm a therapy, give her some quote unquote therapy, and keep her coming. And I'm gonna have all her friends who be gonna trauma bond, and we're gonna tell the story. And secretly, I think we just saw the creator, I forgot her name, who came out. It was like the big man head and creator. Now she getting engaged. She's engaged.
Drew Afawalo, and she was in my comment section fighting for her life, baby.
So it's like you have that where these women are not, they will, again, like you said, single people will keep you single, or quote unquote single people, because we out here, girl, we out here, we ain't dating these men, and you probably would have ring like, all right, y'all,
What's
I'm
the other one
engaged.
name? Cam Newton, baby mama. I wasn't familiar with.
Jazzy.
They said she was kind of like up
Oh
there
yeah,
giving.
yep. She
And
was
Back
now
in the
very
you
much.
day.
saying that I
Yep.
love him, I love to serve him, and but you
Yep.
wasn't just saying that. That wasn't your content. So that's the thing that scares me the most. I think
Mm,
especially for the upcoming young generation, they cannot, because it's not even that they cannot. They don't know how to separate reality from the internet because they're
yeah.
internet babies. We
Yes.
Yeah.
know how to separate reality from internet because we
Yeah.
lived reality before internet got here.
Yeah.
Right.
Now we're expecting these kids to separate their life, which is internet, from internet, and they don't know
They
how. That's
can't.
why you
Yeah.
Yeah.
got kids doing stupid challenges on TikTok because it's reality to them. We had
Hmm.
reality before TikTok and Facebook and all this other internet stuff. So we have something to compare life to. That's the part
Hmm.
that's scary because we obviously had role models. We obviously had different genres of music. We obviously had respect from the adults in the community. If all of that stuff is slowly dying down and it's almost like it's non-existent, so what do the kids have it to compare to? We can't
Hmm.
necessarily blame it on them. They don't have anything. What
Yeah.
role models do they have? What
Exactly.
reality do they have?
Well,
Exactly.
I know for me, I know that a lot of people want to be social media content creators, influencers, because they want that freedom of time. They want to be able
Hmm.
to come, go, do whatever, make good money, but I still want to be able to take a week off vacation whenever I want, travel out. I get it. I think these kids need to so if you ask, how do we fix it? What do we do? I believe that it is important for us to one, whatever number you want to use. We need to get women to understand that you have to discover who you are as an individual,
Yeah.
not a woman associated with your friends, associated with the man, associated with your family. Who are you as a
Right.
woman by yourself?
Hmm.
What do you enjoy? What talents, what God given gifts that God put in you for you to be able to make a difference in the world? I'm a
Hmm.
full believer that anytime you discover your talents and your gifts, that is how you're going to make money. And it's going to be like you're not ever
Yeah,
working.
you're not exactly.
I
Yep.
fully believe that. So I think that women who are struggling with where do I go from here, they need to take time for themselves to discover who they are and really have those tough interpersonal conversations. Fix
Hmm.
yourself, number one. That's what women need to do. Number two, those women need to come into their homes and encourage the men that are there with them and their
Hmm.
children to do the same. If our kids knew who they were without having the influences of social media, without having the influence of their friends, then they wouldn't be so pressed to have the validation that you get from the likes and the views. I know
Yeah.
who I am. I know what I stand on. My mom supports me. My dad supports me. My grandmama, auntie, uncle, because we're building the village again. They all support me. So if TikTok don't pop, it don't pop. I have
Yeah.
gifts that I can use in real life, like you said. We've got to get these kids to disassociate from social media
But
because
and the thing about it is though, the sad part is them disassociating is so challenging because their mothers
are
are
doing it.
stuck into you know what I'm saying? Like
So you
that's what
see what
makes
I
it.
mean? Why it's so important that the moms, the women in our
Yeah.
community, fix their
We have
first.
to
We're the
fix it. Yeah.
heartbeat.
Exactly. We
We
gotta
are
do
the
good.
heartbeat. We
We have to
influence everybody in our households. So if the moms do it, they get the kids and the
get the
husbands to
kids.
do it,
Yeah.
then they have the support of the village.
Yeah.
Now you start working towards where do we go from here? Let me
Right.
show you how to get some money without you degrading yourself. Let me
Hmm.
show you how to get some money. We need to bring back trades. I'm a licensed cosmetologist. I welding, plumbing, HVAC. Oh, I don't want to do none of that. But here's the thing: social media could be gone tomorrow.
Today,
Don't let
tomorrow.
the Wi-Fi go down. What you gonna do? That you're stuck.
Yeah.
But if our kids can learn how to work with their hands again, how to work with their minds again, if the women and men who are, I don't know how to provide, I don't know how, if they can learn how to monetize the skills that God give them, and it could be social media. Maybe you have the gift for gab. Fine. But we have got to learn how to make some money that doesn't require us to always trade our time for money. And
Yeah.
then you will start learning, because something I'm getting my children to understand. You take your natural skill set, you start the business, you train other people to run the business, and you let the business give you passive income. It
Mm.
doesn't matter. That formula will work for any skill, anything.
Mhm. Mhm.
and then you have what you're looking for, but now you have it forever. Your
Yeah.
virality off of TikTok is only going to last for 15 minutes before you got
Yeah.
to do something else dumb or
Mhm.
somebody else hot.
Exactly. You
again.
gotta, yep, you gotta find another way to
Yes.
yep.
So this is the longevity. And I believe firmly that we've got to get people to understand that you can be happy being average.
Right.
Y'all, I live in a modest 3-bedroom, 2-bath home. I got a little garden in the back. I got a little spot to drink my coffee in the morning and watch the sun come up. I am comfortable. I am
Yeah.
happy. I am at peace. I don't have to be in no 10,000 square foot house. I ain't got to
Mhm.
drive no Benz. I got this dress from Ross for $17 the other day. This is so cute.
That's
Like,
exactly.
I want people to learn,
It's
do
okay.
what makes you happy. It
Yeah.
doesn't matter what the aesthetic looks like.
That's,
When you live your life based on trying to get the approval from everybody else, you are miserable for the rest of your life. But when you create a life that you genuinely can be proud of and happy with, if I never leave this house and my life stay the exact same as it is today for the rest of my life, I can die with no
you could
regret.
be okay. Yeah.
I'd be just fine. And I think that's what we need to do in the
Mhm.
community.
Mhm. Yeah. Average is fine. I mean, I think we go, like you say, we go back to the 50-50 thing, or, just certain lifestyle we don't, we feel like average is whack. It's not cool. It's not good enough. And most of us are living, like you said, pretty good average lives. Like we're not
I
living
like
out of our
average.
means. We're not
The majority of the
overdoing it.
people is definitely living average. It's just that we have options to use crayons and highlighters and paint stuff and make it
Mm-hmm.
look a certain way. We
Mm-hmm.
highlight our 20 seconds on Snapchat. I done
Mhm.
seen people live that life and I really be want to smack their phone out their hand because I've seen people sit.
Right.
One song come on, it might be their song. Next thing you know, they got their 20 seconds. Ah!
Right. And you said right
And
now.
that is not what
So
you're
Exactly.
it's
doing. Right.
exactly. So
Exactly.
it's like
Exactly.
heavy on the live your life. And I just was telling
Yeah.
my daughter this, and when I do, especially young girls' hair, I give them more of a speech when they in there because they need it the most. And
Yeah.
what
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people fail to realize, a lot of us, not even just the young people, we for some odd reason seem to think that our clock of life is everybody's time. We
Mm-hmm.
Mm-mm.
don't know how long we gonna be here.
You,
Very true.
Everybody has their own individual time stamp when it's time to go. And nothing is promised to us except that. So I think if people really understand that nothing else in this world, in this borrowed time, is promised to us except death, I think people will learn to just do exactly what you want to do
mm-hmm.
for you. You don't have to waste time trying to impress people because once you go, that's that, and once they go, that's that. I've kind of gotten away from that. Heavy on the baby, I will put on some. I'm the bargain queen. They be like, "You look so cute, thank you." I know how to put some stuff together. I'm
Yeah.
not going broke trying to look like I got it. I'm
That
not
Mm-hmm.
about
part.
to go get no $700-800 car note just to say I got it. I'm not doing none of the above. I love that part what you said for sure.
Yeah.
It's like we have to show people you can still be happy, still be popping, and still be regular.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I ain't no
I literally just I said that because that was, one of their running things of like, well, well, your husband doesn't look like he's a provider. I'm like, what does that even mean? What does it look like? Like, what does a provider,
Mm.
the protector was even there. He doesn't like, what does that mean? That just shows how much we are so caught up again on that aesthetics,
Yep.
materialistic things, that you don't even
Mhm.
know that the man that you think got it and who is really a provider ain't got a dollar to his name, but he got that big old fat chain around his neck, and that's all he got to his. That's all he
Baby.
That's
got.
it.
And we get so caught up in thinking like, I want to go that way. That's what I'm supposed to have. That's what I'm supposed to I was supposed to have this life. Some of us think we're supposed to be famous and that's our way to get it. So you get very caught up in that lifestyle and you realize you're not happy. It didn't work out the way that you wanted it to work out. You're stuck with nothing. And then you don't realize, okay, wait, maybe I didn't pay attention. You still will do it again and again and again because you didn't
Mm.
realize that you were focusing on the aesthetics of what he had on his neck or the car that he was driving, that you didn't even know that this man was a liar. He wasn't compassionate. He didn't care about your feelings. He didn't even really care about you.
Not at all.
But unfortunately, we are too caught up in wanting to live a life, like you said, that we can color and make it look more glitz and glamour to make it look a certain way. And in reality, you're not happy. And then you spell out this negativity.
Yep.
Like you said, you spell out all this rage and negativity and just disgusting behaviors because you're not happy because you didn't try it and it didn't work for you. But you don't know, if you listen to what we're saying, you can get a different result if you were to just slow down and stop going off, like you said, what you feel and listen to what you heard. Because like Chevy said, like you said, they want to take us out. They have only one agenda as of now for us as Black women. They don't want us for anything other than your body, like that's it. The lowest of the
That's because
lowest.
that's what we present.
That's what exactly we've made it easy to be that way. Like I said, we see these things. I mean, I was saying this before watching somebody like Sukiana. I think that she, to me, is a very intelligent woman. When she's not in character, she's just the way that she speaks, you can tell that she has common sense.
Yeah.
But she goes into character and she will go on this big platform, big as ever, and degrade herself to the fullest, to dumb herself down. And they know that they can get us to do it every single time. And then, like you said, until we say, you know what, ain't no amount of money, I
That
don't want
part.
it no more. They're gonna keep calling us, and they gonna be like, call her. She wants the job. Tell her we got a couple dollars for her, and we will go into character.
But the lack of integrity as well for our community, period, because everything is related to money. How much money can I get? How much money can I get? And our souls have been for sale. Some of us, not all. I always got to say that because otherwise somebody will come in the comment section. Well,
Not all
not
of us.
me, not me. But don't get me wrong. I fully understand we got bills to pay. I'm
Yeah.
not naive to the fact that we have to provide for ourselves. But my integrity is not for sale. And because I hold myself to a certain standard, and if my daddy was to ever see me doing anything, if my children were to ever be embarrassed, what kind of woman, what kind of mother, what kind of daughter would I be? And to know that I am somebody's wife. One day, I'm single today, but one day I'll be somebody's wife. I don't know what ambitions I may have in the future. And we see how they be pulling Twitter up from 17 years ago. I have to live my life based upon what my opportunities may be. But again, what did we just say? When you don't know who you are, you don't know where you want to go, you don't have an understanding of who you are, you will do anything because you're literally just flowing in the wind wherever the money takes you, wherever the attention takes you. We've got to discover who we are as women. We've got to stop being so sensitive to someone challenging us to be better. We've got to stop looking at it like, well, she don't know. I know, baby. I done been there, done that. I done ran the streets. I done been a hoe. I done got married. I done went divorced. I done left God. I came back to God. I done been a strong, independent Black woman. I don't need no man. I done worked 17 jobs. I done did it all.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what has worked the best for me. So you can use me as a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that is the only reason why they are not as receptive to you sometimes as they are to me. Because I do come from the sense of, listen to Auntie Ash. Listen, baby, I was out here in the streets about 10 years ago. It didn't work out. I don't want you to do that.
I
So
don't know why they give her such a hard time. I still don't understand it. I don't know.
we discussed it. They jealous. They want to be her so bad. How you gonna tell me what to do? You've never been out here.
And I tell them, I speak from, although I didn't necessarily live that certain lifestyle, right? I don't have, but I still am very much in it, witnessing it, working through it, crying through it, making the phone calls, taking people's kids from them, having to, put a child in the shelter, having to pick up a baby. Like I didn't necessarily go through it myself, but I'm
Sure.
all in it. I am
Yeah.
in possible way, every way possible. I am in it. So I think that that's the part of people like I didn't have to, but I'm here. I'm on the phone with one of my students, her talking about how her and her mom were fighting. I'm in it.
Yeah.
I'm the mediator between a mom and a daughter, and they're both calling me complaining about each other to me. So I am, when I say what I say, I know I didn't necessarily have that story, but it also wasn't perfect. I didn't also, have it all peaches and cream. I've shared, about, I've said this before. One of the first thing I remember saying where this whole narrative came up, where when they talk about how if you talk about issues like this, they go back to, oh, you must hate your mom. And I remember saying this early on in my life, like just talking about women holding themselves accountable. And I said my dad was an addict. He's been clean for probably 25 years. But I said at one point in time, I realized when I got older that my dad had to leave my mom and separate himself from her to get clean.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, oh, you must hate your mom. It was like, no, it's not about hating my mom. I just was able to say we as women can be a lot. And I think about, she was a lot at times. I know that he said I could not get clean if I didn't separate myself from your mom.
Yeah.
I didn't might not want to hear it at that time, because like, what you saying about my mom? But the reality of it is, I now get the basis of, you got to detach yourself from people who will hold you down. And they're
Yeah.
not even intentionally saying, come down with me, but their actions, their behavior will stop you from doing better. And that's what a lot of women are dealing with now in the community, that there's so many Black women who are they're not literally saying, come here with me, but their actions are saying, and what they might do or say can hold you down. So that is literally, again, I just want us, as you said, Ash, and both Chevy, we have to realize that it is okay to stand alone. But like you said in the beginning, Chevy, it is not easy. It is scary. We are the minority of women. The majority of women are going the opposite way. And that's the sad reality, that I have to look at, the reality that my daughter, who's 6 years old now, I don't know what the majority is going to look like for her when she
Yeah.
gets to age. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the part for me. Even now, she's the minority in her class of little sweet, nice little girls.
Mm.
That's the minority
Yeah.
in first grade. You understand what I'm saying? Like, this is the reality what we're doing. We have less little girls who are sweet and feminine and nice and kind. That's becoming less and less and less.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if we don't tackle these mamas and us as women, who are going to be the role models? How can we get big mamas back if we don't start to change the narrative of us as Black women? So
Great.
we gotta really do better. Any final words? I really, really appreciate y'all for this conversation. It really, really means a lot to me. I know we had a lot of comments, so I think everybody in the comments for tapping in. But any final words at all before we wrap up this live? I'm so grateful for this conversation, and it really means a lot to me. So yeah.
I'll let Chevy go first. I done a lot of talking.
I just, I just feel like we're doing our part. And even if other people and other women, they can't receive the messages that we're dropping, that's fine, because it's for whoever wants to pick it up.
Right.
We don't have to worry about the ones that don't want to receive it, because sometimes we can only receive what we feel at that moment. And if we're
Mm-hmm.
not in a good space, then we can't receive goodness. And when you're not
Right.
happy, it's hard to understand happiness.
Right.
So
Right.
it's I think we're doing well with just focusing on the people who want to change, because what I've noticed is some people just don't know where to begin for the change.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really
Absolutely.
for us to give up and say, "Oh, I'm gonna kick my feet back and just let them handle it themselves." There's a lot of young girls and a lot of women that's banking on us to drop the information, because they probably just don't know which way to go.
Yep.
So I think we're off to a great start. Ash, I'm gonna have to follow you on TikTok and check out some of your videos. Like I say, I don't really scroll too much, because that's just me knowing I have to keep my mind where I'm not tamed yet. I'm like a
Yeah.
lion. And if I see, what I don't want to see, I will attack. So I try to
Right.
stay within
Right.
my perimeter
You gotta
to
protect.
keep.
Yeah, you got. And but that's self-awareness. I know myself enough to know that I'm not there yet. And
Yeah.
that's the part that takes awareness, accountability to say, I'm not there yet. And I think a lot of us need to normalize saying, I'm not okay. I'm not
Mhm.
there yet. It's
Yeah.
okay to not be there yet.
I ain't there yet either. That's why I don't read them.
Right.
But other than that, I'm gonna continue to keep my foot on their neck.
Hmm.
They ain't no stopping me. So uh I ain't but about a buck and some change, but the skin is thick as it needs to be. And they, I feel like this is definitely purposeful for us. It's our calling, so we won't be knocked down by a couple of words. We okay,
Right.
Not at
we
all.
got this. And like I said, it's for whoever. It's for the women that want it and the
Yeah.
girls that want to receive it. We can't
Yes.
worry about the angry people in the comment section. They are unhappy, and I'm gonna leave it at that. I know
Hmm.
unhappy when I see unhappy because I
Hmm.
used to be at Unhappy Boulevard, so you can't lie to
Hmm.
me about being unhappy. Y'all are unhappy. Anytime you
Hmm.
attacking another woman, you are unhappy. We're not under people's pictures and comment sections directly. We're dropping our generalized opinion, perspective, and what we think, and they're coming to our page.
Comments. Yep.
So
Mhm.
you ladies that do things like that, you are unhappy. I'm not familiar with what exactly what's going on, but I do, like Ash said, I'm sorry that you even got to experience that. I experienced some of that earlier on when I first went viral, but I experienced it within my hometown. So now it's like
Mm.
my hometown did me in so bad, honey. You think they dragging you? Baby, they had
Wow.
me by both arms, feet. They nailed me to the cross here in my hometown
Wow.
for no reason. For no reason.
Mhm.
So it's like now it's kind of like I'm like ready for the world. It's like,
Yeah.
whatever, whatever. So
Yeah.
you'll get there, and then I can't wait for you to get there because you're really gonna be laughing. Like, girl, if you don't get on my comment
No,
section,
I
how you
think
gonna
that
take it?
this has definitely been a the thing about it is, I think for me it just shows me why I need to do what I'm doing. Like, this is like, okay, this is why I do it, right? This
Yep.
right here is that. But one of the things that is like I think you said, pointed this out early, Ashley, the the thing that they want to do is try to make convince people that you're not who you are, right? That's
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
whole thing. I can't find nothing on you that to say that you're not who you are. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go attack your husband and say this, because I can't find nothing on you, and that really boils my blood that I can't
Yeah.
find anything on you because you're the one I don't really like.
Mhm.
And I can't find anything. So what we do is, I'm gonna attack something that I know you care about, and I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
go that route because I can't say this
Yeah.
about you. I can't say that about you. So I realize that again, me being me, and I've said this before, that I believe that it is also attached to me being a dark skinned woman is
Agreed.
a big piece of this. I don't fit the aesthetics of what a dark skinned woman is typically supposed to look like or
Mhm.
be like, or again, be very much the typical dark skinned woman in their eyes from their neighborhood or their friend group, that they are the ones who are to you to get the bottom of the bottom or what's left. So
Yeah.
if you don't, I didn't have a story of being bullied for being dark skinned. Now I'm not saying I didn't have my struggles of like identify, but I never had the coming home from school crying about that, because I know many girls who did. Like, it very
Mhm.
much is a very real thing. So I think for me now it's like, okay, I know what I'm dealing with. I know that I've said, like you, Chevy, I stand on what I stand on. I believe what I believe, and I'm sure about it. And they want to try to tell you what you are like. You can't make me change what is not just my opinion, but it's actually a fact. You know what I'm saying? So I think me not responding in that typical way that because that's not my personality. I'm just not that type of person. I'm not going to come on here and curse you out, or that's just not who I am. So I think the people who they paint this picture or try to paint this picture of me, it only brought more love and more supporters to me, because they're like, well, wait, they said that she was like this, but I
Yep.
can't find I don't know where that part is. So I'm a little confused. So it's like people are looking for themselves. It's like, that's why I would never feed into giving you what you want, because that's not who I am. And it's also not gonna do anything good. So I'm gonna let you get
Mhm.
really tired and like, well, girl, it ain't working. We done did this, we done said this about her husband, we done fake called the school, whatever you want to do, and it didn't work. So what do we do next, y'all? What do we do next? Like, it's not working, because they are used to getting women to just shut up and go in a corner and stop, I guess, And like you said, you're just not happy. And I can recognize, like you said, I understand that you cannot even fathom the fact that a Black woman can be happy, because you won't see anybody happy in your life, and you don't know what happy is for yourself. So when somebody says that the first go to is, oh, you're miserable, it's like, you're not smiling. What am I? I'm smiling about teenagers having babies. Should I be smiling about that? Should
Mm.
I be laughing about that?
You got it. You gon' we when we all fall for the first time off our bikes, we might cry. If we
Mm-hmm.
fall in the skates for the first time, we might cry. The first time of anything that's uncomfortable is uncomfortable only that first time. Once
Yes.
you get through it, then it's like, oh, I know what to expect with y'all.
Yeah.
So once
Yeah.
they beat me up real bad, like they beat me up real bad, and I was like, oh, that hurt so bad. I went through it. I had my feelings hurt. I cried. I was like, dang, what did I do? I thought y'all was cool. I thought y'all liked
Mm-hmm.
me. Y'all supported me. I was the favorite. Now you hate. I went through all the emotions at first. And now it's just like it's nothing to give. It's like
Right.
because you don't know me. And
Right.
one thing that I think that's gonna shut them up, you gotta stay out the comment section, period. As bad as we want to commute with them because we
Mm-hmm.
want to engage, I don't know what they in my comment section saying, because you're not even important enough to even get 2 words out of me. I will like the first few people because it's like, okay, I appreciate the love, but it has to come a time where you have to stay completely out that comment section, because that's the only thing that's gonna show them, oh, she said what she said. She not saying nothing. But when
Mm-hmm.
you in that comment section commuting back and forth with them, they feel like they on your level because you are going back and forth with them about your opinion, which makes
Mm-hmm.
them feel like they're on your level. You gotta
Mm-hmm.
say, huh? What did you say down there, girl? I can't hear, cause baby, I'm not commenting to none of them people. No. So I think once you just kind of going through that's just what it is. You going through the first little blow, bow. Oh, they doing me dirty. It's a bad feeling too. But once you
Mm-hmm.
get past that, girl, you gonna be looking at them people like, I wish I could respond. I be looking at stuff like, dang, I want to say, no, no. You gonna be looking like, I want to say thank you, but nope. Because if they even see you at one comment, they gonna come attack you on a positive
Mm-hmm.
comment. So I don't even
Mm-hmm.
go. I stay out them people way. Y'all on your own down there. And then the thing is, when they can't go back and forth with you, they don't even know where to attack. If
Right.
you give them a response, they're going to respond with a response. But if you don't give
Mm-hmm.
them no response, they, oh, damn, well, shit, we done said this about her husband. She ain't said, we done said this about this because she ain't said nothing. We, well, okay, y'all got anything else? They gonna run out of stuff. But if they say something about your husband and you say something back about they're gonna find a way to respond. You
Right.
gotta leave, honey. This your stuff, cause I be using words. This ain't my lot. They are pet, honey. Yeah, so that's all I gotta say.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta let the people
Yep.
wallow at the bottom. They at the bottom.
Yeah.
So if I could add for my closing, if whenever y'all get a chance, go look through my content. I have mastered the nice nasty. Ooh,
See, we
I
ain't
have
mastered
a
that.
I have mastered the nice nasty. But it is because, and it's very easy for me, because anything you say about me that is true, yeah, you're right. I did that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you're right. Like I said, you will never be able to shame me from something that I'm acknowledging, taking accountability for, and also bringing to the forefront. I agree, though. There are some of them comment sections that I'm like,
They'll
y'all
try
fight
to take
amongst
us out with them
yourselves.
comments.
It is what it is. But I do believe sometimes, because people ask me, well, why do you respond to some of
Mm-hmm.
these negative comments? Because I want to show them that Black women do have grace.
Right. That's what. Yeah. Exactly. That's kind
I
of my thinking. Yeah.
Yeah,
I always,
I want to
I always
show
want to show this is what it is. Right. Like this is the. I'm going to show you this comment. Let's make this a teachable moment.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly right.
Mhm.
And what I need them to understand is, now don't get me wrong, Ashlee, if you want 2007 to 2012 Ashlee back, I can give her to you. But you don't want her, I promise.
Right.
And the growth and the maturity that I have now will allow me to acknowledge somebody's comment in such a nice and graceful way
Yep.
that I will have so much support in that comment section that my people will fight my battles for me. The
Yeah.
way my comment
Yes. Yep.
the
Yeah.
way my comment section be set up, how dare you say that about Ash? You don't know
Yeah.
nothing
Mm-hmm.
about Ash. Ash would never.
Mm-hmm.
So when you show people that you are the light, my whole thing is I say I am the change that I want to see. So when I show people the light, when I give people the example, when I exhibit what we could be doing, people support even more because Ashlee is really living what she say.
Mm-hmm.
And quick toot of my own horn, and Janine, I speak this over you if this is something that you want. I don't know if y'all remember this time last year, sometime. Y'all remember the girl who got hit in the face with the brick?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, y'all know that was a whole debacle. Well,
Mm-hmm.
I stood on business. These women tried to call my salon to get me fired. These women tried to go on Google and leave reviews because she shouldn't be responsible for any Black women. These women tried to cancel me, and I say it today and I say it going forward. When you own everything, baby, you can't cancel me. I
Mm-hmm.
made it. I own it.
Mm-hmm.
When it
Mm-hmm.
comes to TikTok, if y'all want to cancel me on TikTok, cool. But guess what? I ain't gonna do nothing but go to YouTube. And then
Mm-hmm.
if I get tired of YouTube, I can go to Facebook because I'm monetized over there. You won't stop this check. And if I have to come off of social media altogether, I'm gonna go right back to my beautiful life at the salon where
Mm-hmm.
I can have full control. You will never be able to cancel anyone when they made themselves. Well, God
Yeah,
made
well,
me, but
God
you
made,
get
yeah.
what I'm
You can't
saying.
cancel what God has. Well, you
You
can't
can't
cancel what God has
at
put on.
all.
Nope.
So
Yep.
the people who are calling your job, the people who are searching out your husband, baby, like Chevy said, those are miserable, unhappy people, and they are trying to find something to use against you.
Mm-hmm.
Ignore. But I'm gonna hit them with a nice nasty because I need people to say that not to see that not all Black women are neck rolling attitude
Yeah.
cussing out. I always ask myself, self, what would Felicia Rashad do? Yeah, let me hit them with a real good Claire
Right.
Huxtable because they
Yeah.
don't expect that from
And
Black women.
exactly, they expect it to come with the be this or be that,
Yep,
and that's why I always try to make it a teachable
yep.
moment of like,
Moment.
let me show you that this is, even when I've had people say like, you know, that doesn't matter. Let's talk about why this does matter. Let's really,
Yeah,
because there's probably a lot of people who probably think this same way, and we got to just have a conversation about it,
yeah,
so I definitely think that there is a fine line of, like you said, of engaging, but also protecting your peace at the same
yeah.
time,
Yeah.
and
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 that
I
Until
and
you
I
get
think
strong
that
enough to do the nice nasty. So in my comment section, I'm not strong enough. I'm not even strong enough on live. On live, I will dog those people so bad on live. They best to stay off the comment section in live.
that
I don't comment finger wise, but baby, when they come on my live, oh, it goes from
you be
0 to
at it.
10 very
Yeah,
quickly.
yeah.
So I'm not there yet, but I'm a work in
no,
progress.
yeah, it's
And
definitely
that's all. But
that's
it
all
has taken me, it's taken me years. Like, please do not, it's taken me years. It's
yeah.
taken me years. But my closing remarks would be this. When it comes to Black women, I fully support and encourage, and I hope for nothing but the best. I want us to recognize that we do not deserve to live in strife or struggle. We do
Mhm.
not deserve to live in scarcity. We are the heartbeat of our community, which means we have an infinite amount of value that we can add to our lives, our communities' lives, our families' lives. Everybody around us should have a positive influence from us. And we have the responsibility as Black women to be
Mhm.
our best selves. It doesn't matter if you have to go at it alone. It doesn't matter if you have to be the oddball out. It doesn't matter if you have to stand 10 toes down and fight against what you know is wrong. This is a sign of the end days. They said right would be wrong and wrong will be right. And we have to recognize that no matter what everybody else is doing, you have to do what you know is best for your
Mhm.
future and your children's future. So for me, continue to challenge me, continue to correct me, continue to push me to be the best version of me, because it is not just me that you're doing it for. You're doing it for my children, my
Yeah.
grandchildren, my great grandchildren. I have a responsibility for my bloodline and my husband's last name. Whoever you are, wherever you are, I am going to make your last name so proud. And I strive to help build the last name that will hold weight in rooms that my children ain't even stepped in yet.
Yeah.
That's the goal. So, am I exhibiting today what would allow my children to operate in rooms that I'm not even in? If I can't answer yes to that, I'm doing it
You
wrong.
need to, yeah, you gotta go back to the drawing board.
You gotta make some adjustments. So I send this out as a personal challenge to all Black women that hear this. I want you to take time to really do an evaluation over your life, over who you are. I want you to understand that it is never too late to start. It is never too late to do a complete overhaul. Never
Mm-hmm.
feel like you're trapped. Never feel like you can't do better. You know you desire better. You know it is going against everything you believe. You feel convicted every day you go outside with that
Mm-hmm.
bonnet on your head. You
Mm-hmm.
feel convicted every time you call that man at 2 o'clock in the morning. It don't make you feel good. Let's stop doing the things to be accepted, and let's start doing the things that are going to elevate us. And
Mm.
that is going to take some challenge. That is going to take some work. That is going to create some tears. You're going to shed some friends. You're going to lose a lot along the way. But
Mm-hmm.
at the end of it, you will be so much better for it. Your children will thank you. Your mind, your body will thank you. Your spirit will thank you. And if your goal is to have a happily ever after and be big mama with papa, your husband will thank you.
Yes.
And that's it. That's all. That's where we got to get back to.
Thank you. Thank that. I mean, you took the words out of all my final thoughts. I think that is it. I think it's just like you said, it just goes back to us as Black women taking a step back and slowing down and
Yeah.
getting out of our feelings and just and asking yourself, do like you said, am I happy with where I am today?
Mhm.
And have to be honest with myself of why am I not where I want to be? And
Mhm.
really start to, this is where you have to really, like you said, detach yourself from just who you are. This is
Yep.
not a group activity. This is something that is a personal thing between you, yourself, and I.
Mhm.
What do you want? Who are you? And why am I with all the cars and the house, but I'm still feeling empty inside?
Yep.
I'm still thinking that I don't need this person, I don't need a man. I'm happy by myself, but I'm still saying it out loud, but I'm not really feeling it. So don't be afraid to stand alone. Don't
Mhm.
be afraid to um lose. You're gonna lose people. You're gonna lose people on the way, because again, we are good women in the Black community is a minority. Like good women who have morals, respect, and class and dignity. Like I'm not saying people should be, not respected, but just in general, holding yourself to a certain standard, it is not common. So when you say I want to go this way and go left, you got to be prepared for people to be looking at you crazy because you're not
Mhm.
going right. And
Right.
that's where our babies are all going the wrong way because they're too afraid to go the other way because of what comes with going the other way, because they're not seeing anyone in their lives do the right thing, step away from what everybody else says. They're being influenced by their parents to do what everybody else is doing. So I just want us to just know that it's not all about bashing. This is what I believe is truly love. This is what a person who cares about you, who loves you, who appreciates you, who wants to see you do better, they will tell you the truth.
Mhm.
That's the only way that you can grow, is that when you hear the truth. That's in your job. You get an evaluation. They tell you what you need to do better on. That's how you grow. That's why they give you these things. That's why they tell you what you can do better at. Because if you don't look at it and take accountability for, like, okay, I could do this, I could do that. If you keep saying I'm perfect, you'll keep getting the same evaluation over and over again, because you have not said to yourself, you know what, I can do better. I'm
Mm.
not, because everything is not saying that you're bad. We can just
Right.
always do better. I can become a better wife. I can become a better mother. I can keep climbing higher, become a better counselor, just become a better woman. I don't believe I've even hit my peak.
Right.
I don't even think I'm still climbing the ladder. So I want women to know that it's okay, as we said before, to own that I have work to do. I'm not there yet. I want to be there and I can get there. I gotta keep working on it. So I thank y'all. This was an amazing conversation. I feel like everyone in the chat enjoyed the conversation. It will be up on my channel, so I'll share it out for people who want to go back and watch it. Ashley, should be you were able to get on and stream it.
I think so. I'll
Yeah,
figure
it
it out
should be.
later.
It should be
Yeah.
up good. So yeah, so I appreciate y'all. Again, thank everybody in the comments for tapping in. Yeah, hopefully, God willing, we can do more of Just a Girl Talk and have many of the women join and have these conversations. Yes, definitely. So I appreciate y'all. Hope
You are
everybody, I
so
hope y'all both
welcome.
have an amazing, amazing night. Yeah, and I will talk to y'all later.
Thank you
Absolutely.
for
You have a
having
great
me.
night. Thank you,
Good
Bye.
Janine.
night,
You're
Bye,
so
Nadia,
y'all.
welcome.
Ash.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.